hey, if you're going on vacation, not us, but maybe you might be if you're from somewhere else.
Yes.
Right?
Elsewheres.
Maybe you're from Washington.
Is someone
Maybe
in the
you're from
audience
Washington and you need Saley.
Oh, are you talking
Maybe you're
because
from
they got eliminated?
Montreal. Maybe you're from Ottawa.
Oh, and it couldn't be us.
Yeah, couldn't be us. But
Imagine.
maybe you. Maybe it's Cancun time for you, okay? If you need that, here's the great thing. We've got Saley discounts for you, and Saley is an eSIM. You just download the app, or you go to the website, you download it once. It's easy, and you can buy roaming packages in 160 different countries.
That's so many different countries.
And let's be honest, those 160 are the only ones worth going to anyway, right?
Right.
And then there's also 8 regions around the world.
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I don't know what the... how many countries are there?
There's like 190 something.
We had so much time to look this up, and I still
we
haven't.
didn't look it up. But anyway, listen, it acts as a local eSIM, so you don't have to worry about like waiting in line at an airport. You might get ripped off, that sort of thing. Also, it's backed by Nord Security, so you never have to worry about your information leaking on the internet and people stealing your credit. Setting their phones to steal.
You don't want that.
No, you don't. You don't. So get an exclusive 15% off Saley data plans. We don't need it. Your city might, though. Use the code DANGLE at checkout. Download the Saley app or go to saley.com/dangle.
The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
USA! 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 Woo! Austin Matthews! America!
Also,
Pacioretty! America! Joseph Wool! America! Tocchet get hit. Tocchet get hit. They shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have chanted it in Game 4. People don't forget.
You're talking about Panthers fans.
I'm talking about Panthers fans.
yeah.
In the building in Florida chanting USA.
Yes.
Yeah.
I sure am.
Yeah,
USA indeed.
Doesn't really make sense.
Nope.
No.
Especially when, I'm sorry, like heading into that game, sometimes you think stuff up. You're like, here's what I'm going to say if they lose.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'm going to say if they win. Mm-hmm. And I left a little pocket in my brain for what if it's exclusively Americans who get it done for the Leafs.
Uh-huh.
And I can't believe it worked out as perfectly as it did. Mwah. Thank you, hockey gods. No notes. Do you have another one? That would be great if they had another one. Matthews, Pacioretty, Wool.
Now,
Perfect.
Jesse, I've sent you a couple videos.
Okay.
I would like to compare and contrast the New York Knicks and the Toronto Maple Leafs last night, because the New York Knicks, like the Toronto Maple Leafs, have been bad for a while. And they haven't reached the Eastern Conference Finals since the year 2000. And it's been a long road.
Yes.
And I think New York might melt. But this video,
It was great while it lasted.
I want to know if you can pick out the famous person in this video. Jesse already knows who it is. All right, go ahead and press play, Jesse. Who is that?
I think it's the one in the car.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Timothée Chalamet did not get abducted.
Yeah, well, I think they're trying
Honestly.
to pull him out.
I know.
I
Like,
think
I
that's
thought
what
he
they're
was going to
trying
get
to do.
snatched out of the car.
Yo, driving in New York at the best of times is impossible. Where are they going to go? They're going to flip that thing.
Oh, my God. No, because he's one of them. He's a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Steve, how close to this is where you got ripped off for tickets?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I don't know. When I was there weren't as many people. There was just one scammer who took $107 American.
You bought fake Rangers tickets?
Rangers Panthers, ironically.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And
Rangers,
then you
Panthers.
got to the gate and they were like, these aren't real?
They looked at them for 0.5 seconds and were like, these are fake.
It was physical paper tickets, right?
Yes. And I think there might have been a second part to the scam.
Okay.
I think I've left this part of the story out. So they did that. And then someone was like, they flagged me and my wife down. They're like, hey, the guy who sold you those tickets, he's at a coffee shop across the street. You should go say something.
No.
And I was like,
No, I'm not from here.
No.
oh, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go fight the street scammer
From New York.
from New York.
He's definitely not carrying.
No,
He's definitely not defending himself.
For sure not. No, he's simply going to take his beating.
No, go get it was 107 for the pair or each?
For the pair.
Okay, that's not so.
It was basically like, what do you got? And I was like, this much. He's like, that's how much they cost.
Oh, no.
I'm so stupid. Yeah.
Oh, it's
They
amazing.
cost whatever you got in your pocket.
Yeah, well,
And then
okay.
Mazda said, Steve, we need one more $1.
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah, this guy
wow.
ripped me off way harder than Mazda. I can't imagine what the second part of the. I mean, probably just like take my.
He
kidneys.
probably went to that coffee shop and I'm like, wow, tonight was a good night.
Tonight was
easy
easy.
night. Easy night?
Yeah. I
Don't
didn't have
worry,
to
bud.
work
This
for
is
that.
on me.
Yeah. Like, because to be a scam artist, you got to talk, right? You got to be able
yeah.
to like chat people up and like warm them up and, oh, I'm not sure, ho hum. Like, you got to sell, baby.
Oh yeah, no. Like I did the dumb thing, which is I went to New York with a jacket that said Canada in the biggest frig off letters ever. And you shouldn't do that.
Hey, Jesse, how much money do you want to put on that was a Nike jacket that was given to Steve for free in 2010?
Was it? Yeah, from the Olympics?
2014.
Oh!
There you go.
Time for
It was
Sochi.
one of the last free items I got from them.
This is from the second video is from last night down near Union. Somebody's wearing a Crosby jersey. They're confused, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Listen, we'll take a red maple leaf. We'll take a blue maple leaf.
There's a few jerseys that are just blanket allowed.
Look at the people are crowd surfing.
Is this under the gardener?
Yeah.
Oh, you're all about to get crushed by falling cement.
Yeah.
But you know what? They're going out having a great time. Look at that. You know what? I'm judging them. Why don't they keep it down? Why don't they keep it down? They're the reason the Leafs lost Game 5.
Yeah. I imagine being excited for your team. Couldn't be me.
Silly.
And
Silly
by the way,
dumb.
I said to Jesse before the pre-show because the arena was packed last night. It was $15 tickets. We had a
saw
bunch of SDP listeners come by and just say hello on their way in. But
They sold out the lower bowl entirely. Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't sell the whole thing out.
I think the atmosphere lends itself to like a closer environment, so you want to just concentrate everybody to the lower.
Do you
bowl.
want last row seats to watch on a screen?
Listen, man, I've done far worse for far more.
The first UFC that was in Toronto, like years and years ago, we're talking George St. Pierre against Jake Shields. We had
when the belts mattered?
when the belts mattered. We had way high up seats. I watched the whole thing on a screen. I could have just watched it at home.
Yeah.
But I got to be surrounded by sweaty men. So, like, was it worth it? And wait forever to pee. So long to pee.
That I never understood. Like, I remember I was in the Saddle Dome once, and it was a Backstreet Boys concerts, and they shut off the men's rooms. And I was like, why don't they shut off the lights to the men's room? Like, there were no women, or there were no men there. It was like me with the radio station and my co-hosts, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, the women's line was, like, huge. The men's room was empty, and I'm like,
Yeah, but what
why
year
is
was
no one-
what year was that?
That was 2011, 2012?
Yeah. No, like I went to who was it? It was Backstreet Boys too.
Was it?
They're
good live.
at the amphitheater, which isn't called that anymore.
Molson Amphitheater. Budweiser Stage.
Budweiser Stage.
The
and
Neil Young thing.
they converted some of the men's rooms to women's washroom.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, because I feel like it's a decades past people have gotten smart.
Yeah, come on. It's crazy.
I went to Justin Timberlake years ago, and my wife just went, I'm going in the men's room.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't complicated. She's like, I'm just going.
That was when Drake came out with the Backstreet Boys.
Whoa.
At Budweiser
I remember
Stage.
that.
was like 2 summers ago. Yeah.
Weren't you, Jesse? Weren't you at like a bunch of the cool OVOs too, where like Eminem
Yeah,
came out?
I went to that.
OVOs, yeah.
Man, I'm
Yeah.
so jealous.
The
Hey,
first one.
so here's what I want to ask, or here's where I want to start. I guess, Jesse, I'm going to send you one more video.
Okay.
This one's a good one. No, it's not a video. It's a quote. I meant for it to be a video, but I got
classic
the
Adam.
Chris Johnson,
All right.
and it's from Max Pacioretty.
Okay.
Where's he from again? He's from what country?
The United States of America.
Yeah.
I forget where in.
Doesn't matter. And he's
Somewhere
here.
south
Why is he
of
here?
here.
Why is he here, Steve?
To score goals
And what number?
chew bubble gum.
What number is he wearing?
67. And who's he represented by?
Alan Walsh. There
Yes.
you go. I got the video, Jess. Just sent it to you. And he said something after the game that if this can't get you fired up. Now, you have to remember, when a hockey player says it, it's going to come across as a little understated. But I'm going to have Steve repeat it after in the way that Max would have said it if he was a more emotive guy. Now, he's a personality, but he's not like yelly, screamy internet guy, right?
No, not when he's off the ice. No.
So here's what he had
Yeah,
to say.
Max Pacioretty doesn't have a YouTube channel.
Yet.
You
There's
should.
always time.
Yeah.
Talk to Alan.
Go ahead, press play, Jesse. What did he say after the game?
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait. It's gonna be it's going to be, we're going to war.
Now,
Okay, so here, let me say it the way he said
say
it.
it the way he said it.
It's fun. It's fun. We're gonna be we're going to war. The way I would say it is, it's fun. It's fun. We're going to war. Game 7.
Adam, that was the most boring quote that's ever been said.
But we're going to war. I did prep you. I did say.
You did.
I did say this is, listen, we have to, again, we're grading on a curve with hockey players. If we can't get the emotion that we want, at very least we can get the words.
Yeah,
and the words were good. They
It
were good
reads
words.
great.
It's going to be fun.
I read the quote.
Followed by like 2 ums and 5 seconds of silence.
Honestly, I just spent 2 hours at Ripley's Aquarium down the street, and I also said, it's going to be fun. We're going to war. That's how it felt. I have three kids under the age of 6 years old. It was pandemonium. Yeah.
Oh, I bet they all stayed on the really slow
The track? No.
track that
No.
takes you through. No.
The next
they
time
ran around and
Max
screamed?
Pacioretty comes on Agent Provocateur, because I assume he'll be on again eventually.
I hope so.
We should have Steve join that episode, and we should do like classes where Steve teaches Max Pacioretty how to emote.
I like that.
And
we
how
could
to
do-
how to just be excited
I like
about
that.
something.
I
We
like
could do
that.
Key and Peele, and I'll be his like rage translator.
Yeah. You could do that even, where he says something and then you say it how you say it with excitement.
These contract negotiations are trash. Oh wait, he has one of those. It's called Alan Walsh.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now, as we sit here in the Sport Check SGPN playoff studio, these were the stories that I led with last night with Jesse. And I have to be honest with you. After the podcast, and I think during the podcast the other day, you both said, oh, yeah, no matter how bad this is going to Game 7.
Oh, easily.
You guys both acted so nonchalant about that. And I was like, I don't know where they're getting this from. I couldn't get over Game 5 in order to even think about Game 6. And I couldn't process that they could possibly have won because I was so down in the dumps. So my first thing that I said to Jesse, and this is where I started with straight gas, and Jesse was like, we should save this for the end of it.
Yeah.
Said legacy game for the core. I said, the cement is mixed. It's now about to be poured. What we say about this core forever will be determined starting tonight. They either are the one that finally got it done or the one that never did. And Jesse, I said, what do you think is most likely? And you were like, whoa, it's a lot.
I was like, no,
That's a lot to lead with.
48 hours early. It's not a legacy game.
Doesn't it start now, though?
It starts because you need to like win this to get to the legacy game,
Yeah.
but the legacy game is Game 7.
They're all legacy games.
They're all like the Game 5.
Well,
was a
then
legacy
I wasn't
game.
wrong.
Game 5 was the biggest game of the series.
Until Game 7.
And then it was
Until
Game 6.
All right.
And now it's Game 7.
It's like eventually we gotta get to the moment where it's actually the legacy game. And if they win Game 7, then like, oh, Game 5 of the conference finals could be the legacy game, or Game 6 or 7. Like, we're kind of just moving the bar. each
Okay,
time,
all right.
so.
You know how, Adam, you read the Harry Potter books?
Sure.
Remember his first day of school? He's like, whoa, shit's floating all over the place. And dinner just magically appears. By the end of his first week, he's like, yeah, it's dinner.
Yeah.
It just shows up.
Whatever, pumpkin juice.
That's, pumpkin juice. Yeah, sure. That's a thing that, I'm rich because of my dead parents.
Yeah.
I'm just going to share this chocolate with all my friends. That's a thing.
Yeah.
That is a thing that happened. And that's.
And they're hiding it in a bank with a dragon in it that's abused.
Yes.
This is a very dark retelling of Harry Potter.
Well,
to be honest.
and yet literal. But the reason I say that is like, I don't know, how many times do we need to watch the Leafs do this before we stop being surprised by it?
Yeah.
They play their worst hockey of their lives, followed by the best.
Yeah.
And then it's Game 7. They follow this formula very strictly, actually. The weird thing is they've never done it in Game 7, and it's very rarely ended up, the comeback has never ended up at home. Game 7's been at home once for this group of guys, and it was Tampa who forced it. Leafs had an opportunity and blew it. Rah. We were all sad about it.
Jesse and I were there.
When this team locks in, they're diabolical. Like, what are the Panthers supposed to do to get around that? But now here's the fun part. Which team friggin' shows up tomorrow?
Yeah.
Zero clue.
Jess, do you have any thoughts?
On tomorrow, are we jumping ahead by talking about tomorrow? Like,
You're right.
Sure,
You're right.
I
You're
feel
right.
like we can go back to pregame because
Okay.
the reason that like Steve and I weren't surprised going into Game 6 that they would just get it done is because we've seen it before. And Steve, you said something I think that was really important in the last episode when we were searching for the Austin Matthews playoff moment.
Yep.
And you said he had one, and it was Game 4. It would have been against Columbus. It was a 5-game series, right? Austin Matthews had a fantastic game there, and they pushed the series to 5, which was the deciding game. And nobody remembers that. Nobody cares because they lost that series.
Because the next game became the legacy game.
Exactly. Last season, the Leafs were down 3-1 to Boston.
They were.
They came back in that series and fought like hell to force Game 7. Games 5 and Game 6 were monumental wins for the Leafs. Nobody cares. Nobody remembers they came back from 3-1 to 4-7.
Who scored the first goal of Game 7?
Who?
Austin Matthews.
Austin Matthews.
No one remembers.
Nobody
or
cares. Pastrnak got in behind Morgan Riley and scored a goal that broke everybody's heart, and that's the only thing that matters.
I said to Jesse,
this Game 6, it was meant everything going into Game 6, but now it doesn't mean anything.
Did you see the Sundin stat? Matthews is now tied for third most playoff game winners as a Leaf.
Wow.
With Matt Sundin.
wow.
He didn't have a goal outside of the first round heading into tonight.
I was just going to say that.
last night.
Yeah. Well, check this out.
Third! What?
Sportsnet stats dropped this bomb before the game, and you know they love this.
Oh.
These guys,
It's a crazy stat.
they're a crazy bunch of researchers. Like, I have so much respect for whoever's running that and doing that.
Steve Fellon.
Amazing.
I used to bother him all the time.
Of the 110 players in NHL history with 400 career regular season goals, Austin Matthews is the only one with 0 career goals past the opening round of the postseason.
The what?
Past the opening round of the postseason. Opening. I'm just, you know what?
I know. I'm sorry.
So
That's that.
110 players, he was the only one all time up until last night.
If you score 400 goals in the NHL, you are genuinely elite.
Yes.
But none of those guys like failed to get past the first round or maybe they played 4 games in a sweep in the second round and they didn't get a goal there. 109 out of 110 had done it.
Jesse, what
and
was
Matthews was the only one.
What was the percentage or something like that?
0.009% is 1 of 110. And the Leafs ended up with the one guy.
Like,
but that's changed.
That is changed. It's now
110 of 110.
Yeah.
Done.
All of the guys have done it.
We have one too. Thank you very much. And one of the other things that I brought up pregame, and this is, again, we're just pregame here.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Berube says, and this is just from my notes, Berube says he believes in Marner and Matthews. And I had said Marner had one shot in the previous 3 games of the series, all losses. By the way, I don't think he had a shot last night.
He did
either.
not.
No.
Matthews,
that stat's still true.
That's still wild.
Nuts. It's just on the game winner. Who cares?
Matthews didn't have a goal.
Yeah.
And Jesse, all I said was, can they? Can they?
They can in Game 6.
They can in Game 6.
Game 7's a different beat.
I have zero idea who's showing up tomorrow. No idea.
So let's
Not a clue.
Let's start the game because Berube kept them together. And, as much as people complained about that, I do think that was the right call because
They started well.
Well, but also he played them together more than any other coach has ever played them together. And that's their, you kind of ride the horses you came in on, right? Like you don't change it. Changing it last game would be very Sheldon Keefe. And whenever he did that, you knew they were desperate.
So this is the point. The Leafs have done this.
Yeah.
And what has it resulted in?
Well, they have
Here
so much
we are.
success.
Here we are.
Yeah.
The Panthers made an adjustment and it turned the series around. I think the Leafs sticking with their guns here is maybe their move. Because you said it's blinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Maurice takes Barkov off of Matthews, the second he does it, they rattle off 3 pretty convincing wins. Well, maybe 2. But this one, I mean, a lot of people were looking ahead to the offseason and Marner's gone and this and that. To me, if you take him off the top line heading into game 6 on the road, he's off the team already. What are we playing this game for? It's like we're all wasting our time. We're delaying the inevitable. I don't know. I guess let's get together and wave some towels around, but this is done.
Yeah, you also spent 82 games plus 6 plus 5 or 6 in this series playing them together.
Yes.
Like now is not the time to move them off of the first line. Like you spent the entire season doing one thing, and in the most important moment you're going to change from that. Like that, it made zero sense moving them off the top line together.
Worth mentioning, I didn't think Willie was all that great.
In which game?
Last night.
Last night, yeah, it was a little ho-hum.
It was ho-hum. Maybe it was enough.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that...
A little more effort on the back check, I think.
He was tough in his own end.
He was really tough.
He was tough. He did some good things. He got some shots.
Matthew
That was
and Marner are the
Yeah.
Yes. No, but you're replacing Marner with Willie.
If you're
making the switch. Well, who else are you doing?
Right.
I guess Domi, you could.
Honest Holmberg, man. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, for the love of God.
Simon Benoit takes an interference call in the first 5 minutes, and then Oliver Ekman-Larsson 4 minutes later takes another. And Steve, you said it on the stream, and I remember this because I was walking away from this building to my car at that point, and I always put the YouTube feed on. That you said 2 penalties from your bottom pair in the first 10 minutes can't happen.
And Benoit's a pretty key penalty killer for them too. He was out late in this game. They're in the offensive zone. The top line's out there. They're doing their thing. They look good, and you take that penalty. And I can't even remember the player it was against. Wasn't it like Greer?
Yeah.
Or you even got a good matchup, man. It was a tough penalty, and thank God they killed it. And the other one too.
Yeah, and after the first period, I mean, the first little bit. It looked like, first off, I can't ever trust the shot counters anymore in the NHL.
They're horrible.
They changed so much. It's crazy. But at one point, the Panthers had 4 shots, and then it was downgraded to like 2 shots. It's okay, Steve. It's just...
What is that?
No, that's just... it's just stuff from trees, man. It's okay. Just the
Is
show must
that
go
really
on.
from trees?
Yeah, it's just...
I thought it was bubbles.
It's just flowers from trees.
Look
man.
at it.
It's just windy out there.
Look at Wow. Anyway, what's up? What do you want to talk
Steve
about?
has never heard the adage, the show must go on.
No. The show must stop abruptly. What's happening?
I'm in the middle of setting up my next point and throw. You know what, Jesse? I'm gonna throw to you. So in the let's.
I
want to
talk about birds.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh,
I want to know
I saw
about
such
the
a pretty
spotted
cardinal.
boogaloo that Steve saw in Oshawa,
man,
in 1992.
A tufted
and how it
titmouse?
squawked.
Oh, I would love to see a tufted titmouse. Wouldn't you? Who doesn't want to see a tufted titmouse? Adam,
where were we?
what were you rambling on about? What were you yapping about?
I was trying to talk about the fact that I couldn't trust the shot counters.
Yeah.
But at one point, it looked like Florida had 4 shots, and then they got downgraded to 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shot counter has actually gotten more accurate because of sports betting. The NHL is obligated to
do their
very
job?
strict shot counters
that's
because
crazy.
you can bet on shots. So that moving up and down of the shot counter is them just making it more accurate.
Yeah,
Toronto.
it's more accurate at the end of the game.
Yes.
But during the game, while
who
you're
knows?
streaming it, for example, you don't even bother.
Yeah.
Don't even bother.
So the
reading
shots are, for the first 10 minutes, like at the time, 4-0 or 4-2 or whatever it was. By the end of the period, Florida had been downgraded 2 shots because they didn't count.
And it was 7-2.
And it was 7-2 for the Leafs. So you have sort of both sides of this. You have the team that takes too many penalties, which is the Leafs. And by the way, that can't happen in Game 7. Cannot
2
happen.
in the first period on
Can't
the
do it.
road again. Yep.
But they really did push back at the end of that period. Right? Like they really did take that second. Once OEL was out of the box, and it was a good kill, they really kind of pushed back and took advantage of the game, which is something I think in Game 5 they couldn't do because they were exhausted. And Game 4 they couldn't do because they were exhausted because you take that many penalties in a row. It's sort of a pain in the ass.
That game was over early.
Yes.
Yeah, it got late early in Game 4.
So is that just iron will? Like, what is that? What accounts for that? Because it was 2 penalties in 10 minutes.
I mean, the urgency of, hey, your season's over if you lose this game will help power you through. And not having the safety net of, well, we're still up 2-1, right? That's the difference between this and Game 4. Matthews has more pressure on him than he ever has, and he's out there on that penalty kill.
Yep.
Marner has more pressure on him than he ever has, and he's out there on that penalty kill.
And they put Kampf in the last game so that if they did take penalties, Matthews and Marner wouldn't have to be on the ice that much.
And they got murdered. They got absolutely killed.
Yeah.
And then they switched back to same roster, different line combinations and everything. The Leafs had a methodical approach to board battles, directing the puck to safe places behind the net, etc., cutting off passes with their sticks, cutting off passes with their body. And there was one shot last night where 3 different Leafs dropped to their knees to block it. And I think the Panthers they might not have even bothered with it.
Mm-hmm.
The Leafs outblocked the Panthers 31-10.
Kind of looked like the in soccer when they take a free kick and everybody lines up and grabs their crotch and make sure they're okay.
And why not?
Yeah.
You know where the puck's going. Just get in front of that place.
Yeah. Now,
Do you want it to go there? No, yucky. Absolutely not. Block it. Do whatever you got to do.
when Joseph Woll was tested in the first and in the second, sharp. And was that positional USA Hockey Development Program goalie just square to the puck, square to the puck, square to the puck, square to the puck? He's robotic about it when he's dialed.
It's easy to be robotic about it when your D keeps directing traffic to the right places, which they did a really good job of last night. And Kevin Bieksa made a great point after the game was done. Sticky. Really sticky. There were a lot of shots that Woll simply absorbed. And
So rebound control.
part of the reason he faced, I think it was only 22 shots on goal. Yeah, it was all the great things they were doing in their end, but there were very few second opportunities. And the Panthers started like cheating a little bit and started making hope and a prayer plays where, yeah, if this pass connects, it's a goal. There's a 1% chance of that pass connecting. Saucer passes over sticks and like everything the Leafs did. You know, it's the Panthers. At the end of the day, you're too deep in the playoffs to completely shut a team down. You're just forcing them to make difficult plays. And last night, the Panthers couldn't do it.
Yeah. So, Jess, too many men on the ice call. The only thing I could say about that when that happened to the Panthers was, wow, it wasn't us for once.
Well, that happened after Matthews got high-sticked in the face.
That's right. And so Matthews goes to the dressing room.
in the eye after Nyes got hurt. Too.
Yes. And well, no. So Matthews actually, that was later.
I thought it was
Matthews,
right.
Oh, no. You're right. It was because he comes back out. And has happened so many times. Sorry, I got my wires crossed there in this series. The Leafs take a penalty while on the power play. And
it's Matthews.
And it's 30 seconds of 4-on-4. And Matthews, by the way, I don't know if you saw him after the game. He had a nice little bruise from that stick under.
Well, he got a stick in the eye, the actual eye. His eye must have been closed. That's the only reason he was able to return.
I am curious. How is it that every ref and every linesman missed that? There's no way.
Well,
They saw it.
You know, it's face-off. So you got to look wherever the hell they were looking.
Because the linesman can call a high stick.
Oh, yeah.
They're allowed to.
It's Matthews and Barkov engaged in a zone face-off. I'm sure Matthews skated off because he just got bored. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go. It's getting late and I just remembered my Duolingo streak. I got to get to the back and I got to at least do a practice hub thing. That's a crazy miss considering the things that have been called and or
series.
let go.
It has been a tighter called series than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not complaining about Benoit's interference call.
No.
I'm complaining about Benoit doing it. It's a penalty. I'm complaining about OEL tripping a guy and then being like, what? You're not on the Panthers anymore, Oliver.
Yeah.
How many times? It's a penalty. So your captain gets high-sticked in the eye and it's Barkov who would have been going off. Like, what a moment in the game that would have been, right? I'm not going to get too much into it on account of they won. I don't want this to be a repeat of game one where the Leafs won and none of us acted like it at all. We were like, damn it, I'm just so pissed. Bennett, rah! But yeah, that was a horrible miss.
So then Matthews, and Jesse, I want to ask you this, gets the high sticking call on Aaron Ekblad 90 seconds later.
Yeah. You know, like I thought the way the Leafs played the game was like they had no desire to play offense. It was, we're going to shut down the Panthers, and then when our opportunities come, we're going to take advantage of that, and we're going to sneak out a goal. And that's how they kind of played through 82 games. Like, that's Craig Berube hockey. And with those penalties there and the penalty kill with the Leafs, it was exceptional. And I don't think people realize how good the penalty kill was last night.
Lane Lambert.
Yeah,
Lane
you're
Lambert.
right. You're right.
Steve Dangle. Over the course of the 4 power play opportunities that the Florida Panthers had, how many shots on goal did they have?
Oh,
3.
Adam?
5.
1.
1?
Barkov had a shot on the first power play. I believe it was the first or second power play. Only shot on goal by the Panthers through any power play that game.
Whoa.
Holy crap.
The Leafs got into a shell. They blocked shots. As you said, they took away those passes with sticks in places. They didn't allow anything to the net. They allowed Joseph Woll's life to be easy, and then he made the saves he needed to make, which was 1 on the penalty kill.
Oh, boy.
And they did their damn job. And this is what we know they're capable of, shutting down the best team in the National Hockey League because they're the reigning Stanley Cup champions and they've been playing great hockey throughout the playoffs in the Florida Panthers. And the Leafs know how to get into this shell and not allow these opportunities.
Wow.
Even though the Panthers are peppering a bunch of shots on goal, I believe it's over 60 shot attempts.
Yep.
They didn't allow anything, though.
The Leafs
are excellent at playing defense.
They forced the Panthers into forcing it. Like, there were so many times where I'm like, this shift's getting long, and the Panthers have kind of a long possession here, and they pass it back to the point. Oh, they flub it. Now you got to go get it. And, this is like a partial, really low percentage pass. It doesn't connect. They were fanning on rebounds. Like, maybe there's an element of luck there, maybe, but the game.
There's so much luck in hockey, for sure.
Of course. But the Panthers have really overwhelmed the Leafs with, I think, situational speed, if that makes sense. Like, just getting you to panic with the puck.
They've
and turn
always
it
been
over.
a team that could just take advantage of opportunities, the way Jesse said the Leafs sort of did last night. I found them, especially in 2023 when they were surprising everybody, they were just ruthlessly efficient with opportunities.
And a real key difference that I saw in one particular player, as long as we're talking about this particular topic, the Panthers rush at you to get you to make a mistake.
Yes.
And they're going to hit you. Marner on the 3-0 goal in Game 5 does his weird little spinorama because he doesn't take a hit to make a play. Turns it over. Panthers come back the other way. They score. It's 3-0. Game's over. Marner got flattened several times in this game, once in particular pretty hard. Part of the reason Marner never misses games is he very rarely gets got.
He's hard to hit.
He's gotten got one time I can really think of. I don't remember who the player was. It was in Columbus. I think he broke a rib and he missed a few games. Other than that, the guy doesn't really get rocked, and he took 2, 3, 4 really solid hits last night to make a play. He didn't rush it. It's not about, you weren't good enough to avoid that check from the Florida Panthers. Again, there's 6 teams left in these playoffs. 6. The Leafs are one of them. The Leafs are in that cage with 5 other competitors right now, fighting for the same thing. It's not about doing a bad job resulting to a hit. That is the price to pay. That is the cost of admission. And last night, Mitch paid it, and it paid off.
I like that.
You got to give him his flowers. When he had a bad Game 5. He made an adjustment. They win Game 6. I think these two things are related. Same with Matthews. Same with everybody.
Hey, hockey fans, you ready for the NHL third round? We're almost there.
Oh, my God.
Almost there. And by the way, for the 7th straight game, the Leafs are the underdog on the money line.
Hilarious.
Jesse, how is this possible?
They've been the underdog every single game this series if you're
Good.
betting straight up.
Good. Great.
You like that?
I do like that.
Does this make you more or less confident, Stephen Dangle?
More.
75% of bets on BetMGM right now are on the Leafs to win.
Wow.
Yeah, well, they're going to, so that's why.
69% of bets are on the Leafs to win by 1.5 goals or more.
Nice.
Wow. So they're betting on the empty netter.
Yes. Does that spark confidence in you?
Nothing sparks confidence in me after all the scar tissue that I have dealt with, but I am confident because I am excited.
Yes.
You need 16 wins, 7 down. Let's get number 8.
And 70% of people are on the under, which is set at 5.5.
In terms of goal. So they think it's going to be a tight game.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because it's game 7. Usually you don't get high scoring games. Everything's a little tighter, not a lot of goals. We're looking at a 3-1, 3-2 type of game.
I would lean under, but it's the Leafs and nothing applies to them.
Yeah.
Literally nothing applies to them.
So what are you taking?
Yeah, Steve, it's a bet.
Oh,
You're taking Leafs?
Leafs win, under.
Do they win by 1.5? They win by 2?
No, they hold the fort.
Oh, they only win
shut
by
it down
1.
valiantly.
Okay, so just Leafs straight up under.
Yes.
That's your parlay.
Yes.
Let's see if it hits.
Let's see.
Who
And you-
scores? Ooh.
The Leafs.
Anytime goal score. Go.
Anytime goal score. Actually, I could probably build this. Hold on.
Build it. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, let's see what this. Let's
This
see
is
what
fun.
this pays.
Tavares has been knocking on the door.
He has.
Yeah.
He has. There's been like I'm like John's. It's due.
And he shows up in these moments.
Mhm.
JT.
I mean, he's known for winning series with goals, right?
Yes, he is.
So you
JT.
want JT anytime, Leafs, and then under, or you can pick anything for your under. 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5,
5.5.
under 5.5. Let's see. That is 8-1. You can throw it up.
Okay.
All right.
$2 Steve. And I'm going to go get myself a lunch.
Get myself
That's
a
fun.
Sammy.
All right.
All right.
Steve Dangle Game 7 parlay.
There you go.
Yay. Sign up today to get started. BetMGM is an official sports betting partner of the NHL. BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 18 plus to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or somebody close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario. Matthews looked more physically dominant than I think I've seen him since maybe game 1.
Dialed.
But also like, I'm bigger than you and I'm going to move you aside. And so when he's in the offensive zone, I noticed a few times where it would just be like, yeah, okay, I'm going to sweep you to the side now. I'm bigger than you.
He's eating Barkov up. He really is. Like every time they're in those board battles, man, he's eating him up. Like, I really wish someone posted the side-by-side stats of Barkov and Matthews. And like, maybe there is the one thing I'll say with the noise is when Matthews has a bad series, it's the end of the world for him. Barkov can get away with it. And other guys in other markets get away with it.
Different market.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be one of those northern gatekeepers Florida fans don't watch hockey, but he's currently getting away with it. If Barkov
the
was
team wins.
Yes.
You know, like if you said Barkov had a bad round 2, the result, or last year, you know, the result is they won that round, then they won 2 more rounds and they won the Stanley Cup.
Right.
So the arguments for people saying like, oh, Barkov was off whatever series, I'm like, they went to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals and they're currently playing really good.
Mm-hmm.
So like his play is clearly good enough.
Yeah. The other guy who's vulnerable, and you can see it on both goals if you go back and watch. I've watched a lot of this player over the last couple of years. He's not the player I've watched for the last couple of years. Gus Forsling. He's hurt. He's hurt, and the Leafs are attacking him, and they got 2 goals out of it. Mm-hmm. I've said this so many times this season that I am not convinced people read the game notes. Bobby McMahon keeps catching people off guard with his speed. They don't know who this man is. Oh, sorry. And also he draws a lot of penalties. No, I'm kidding.
He's so slow. He's so slow. You can catch him.
He's so, oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
What I meant to say is no Leaf fan likes Bobby McMahon. He is very slow. Keep letting him do whatever he wants.
Because he won't do anything to you.
Forsling did, I mean, that pivot looked like one of mine.
Well,
Like sorry, go ahead.
We're
I
not
know,
there
I'm
yet.
skipping ahead.
We're not
I got
there yet.
excited.
Now, this story, I mean, the story of the game through the first 2 periods is the penalties. We have the Ekblad interference against Marner towards the end. And again, I'll give the Panthers credit too. I think their penalty kill is aggressive And they take advantage of the fact that the Leafs are like, sometimes we're going to be really slow and getting set up here. And that is from years and years and years of Babcock and Keefe going, don't rush it. Don't rush it. And Berube is like, no, get set up, go. And what I love about the Leafs power play in this, and I know they didn't score in this game, but I've seen it time and time and time again, guys. They are not back passing at the blue line.
No.
The opposing team cannot stand at the blue line like, Gandalf, you shall not pass.
Yes.
And allow them to back pass themselves to death. They get it through, and they're able to kind of slip past that blue line usually pretty quickly, right? Usually it happens pretty quick. Not much happens on that power play, so we go to the third, and it is 0-0. And this is where it becomes, as Jesse mentioned, about taking advantage of the opportunity, right? An opportunity presents itself and you take advantage. And by the way, it's worth mentioning, the Leafs had 17 shots in this game. 17 shots.
Is that really all they had?
Yes.
Yeah, it was 17
to 20.
and 4.
Yeah. And what happens? Mitch Marner wins a board battle.
Well, it starts with, I think Ekblad wears the goat horns here because he ultimately had the turnover. It's a bad pass from Forsling. It's not a good pass from the Panthers' arguably best defenseman. It's not a good pass. Ekblad has trouble handling it. Marner reads it well. Matthews is coming in like a bat out of hell. Forsling can't adjust. Matthews snipes it the way Matthews does. There have been a couple moments this season where we've been like, where is Austin gone? And then Austin scores not just a goal, a Matthews goal. That's a Matthews goal. One-on-one with the goalie, eat shit. And he just lasers it right through you. 5-hole right along the ice. Nothing
Those
fancy.
shots, though, have been going wide, have been going over. He leads the playoffs in missed shots.
Does he really?
Yes.
Is that a stat?
That's a stat.
How many?
I think it was like 21 the last time I checked.
That's so many missed shots.
What's crazy is the Leafs are like super low in terms of expected goals on 5-on-5. I think probably one of the lowest teams remaining, or just generally in the playoffs. But what's amazing about that line is their expected goals usually is pretty high, and they just haven't been able to get it done.
Well,
without
you
Matthew.
expect Matthews to hit the net.
Right.
And he is hitting the net at least a few times a game. You were saying every game in this series, he's got at least 3 shots. Was that you? Or was that Drew?
It might have been Drew.
I can't remember. I talked to...
Who do you talk to?
I talked to like a pocket of people, and it's all about the Leafs every spring.
Yeah, I want to highlight what Steve's talking about because it's not like it's a turnover by Forsling that leads to this goal. And Mitch Marner is just smart and in the right position to pick up that turnover. That puck actually never gets to the board to battle for it. It's Forsling behind the net. He has the puck here. And I'll play the NHL Edge breakdown too because you can really see where he just messes up. But Forsling's behind the net and he throws this pass here and it's just kind of to no one. So he throws it up ice and Mitch Marner's just in the right position and he takes it and then he turns the other way.
It's well ahead of Ekblad, who is standing still. Why are you throwing that pass ahead of him?
So you can see it play out right here.
Yeah.
You can see it play
Here
out.
he is.
Look at this bad
There is
pass.
no problem.
Like,
Wow, that is a bad pass.
nowhere near him. Here comes Matthews.
and that's it.
Like Forsling skating in quicksand.
And that's what the Leafs have been waiting on all game. They play this style of hockey now under Craig Berube where they block a bunch of shots. They allow the Panthers to kind of do what they want offensively around the edges, but nothing is really dangerous. And they just need a couple opportunities every game to capitalize on that and score a goal. They're waiting for the Panthers to make an unforced error, to make a mistake so that you have your best player on your team get the puck into position to score a goal.
Can you play that one more time? Because I want to look at Nyes, who I can't believe he was on the ice.
Yeah, well, I guess soon we'll talk about that. But like, Forsling's got the puck, trying to pass to Ekblad. He throws it wide for absolutely no reason. Mitch Marner's great and just steals that puck.
There's no options here, though. If you go back a couple seconds, so Forsling, he's got Ekblad. Nyes is all over Barkov. Marner's waiting for the mistake to happen. Matthews is on Boquist. Riley's all over
You know
Reinhart.
what the option is, Steve? Skate the puck.
Yeah.
Skate it.
Literally straight down the ice. That's wide open because they've allowed you to do that because they're not scared of the threat of you skating down the ice.
What if skating hurts?
Well,
I don't know that those
I think he's got, I don't know. I think it's some sort of lower body injury. He's not moving right.
Forsling had the opportunity to skate straight ahead, draw Mitch Marner over, then send that pass. Or if Mitch Marner continues over to Ekblad, then you can just continue to skate forward. Or if he backs up, then you can continue to skate forward. But he made the wrong decision in that moment.
God, like
It's
just
on him.
watching on the visualizer, it's clinical.
Yeah.
It's so clinical. And yeah, it's frustrating. You might even call it boring. I don't think there is such a thing as a boring
Oh, Leafs hockey?
elimination game.
No.
No,
like,
no.
Every play, every possession matters so gosh darn much. They waited for their moment and they found it. And then Matthews gets a goal. Like we were just talking about expected goals. Is that one?
I don't know how they calculate them, to be honest. So I don't know.
I think it's an expected goal if it's him.
Yeah.
Are most players scoring that one? I don't know.
Probably not. No, that's just to the chest, and it's an offensive zone faceoff.
And he just rips the thing.
And you know what the thing though he does too that I think is really important is he keeps it low, because even if with that angle, even if Bobrovsky is able to save that with a pad, very likely he's kicking it out right in front of center, right? Or like right to the center of his crease.
Maybe
right?
Nyes is there, maybe Marner's there, maybe Matthews is there. Yes.
Nyes is there.
Well, there you go.
And that's so when the Leafs do that, when they're not doing that, when it's, remember game 1 this season, Montembeault just got a bunch of shots to the chest.
Yep.
41 shots. How many
47.
of them were? Or 47. How many of them were on the Montreal Canadiens C? Right?
Probably a lot.
Yeah. When you keep those shots low, you're able to do things with the rebound that are great. And I think that being that low, it's enough off the ice that he's got a kick, but it's not too much that it's going to hit him in the soft part.
Quick release, no wind up.
It's
God,
great.
Thing of beauty.
Yeah. Now, getting into a little bit later in the period, super slow Bobby McMahon.
Always. No, he's known for it.
Super duper slow Bobby McMahon. Do we want the goal visualizer for this one too, Jess? Should we bring this up?
Well,
We can.
I like the screenshot you have on screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can. This is what you sent me to bring up.
Oh, all right. Well, let's do this
bringing that
next.
up,
Let's
yeah.
do this one. So I have been waiting 15 years for this moment. I always wonder, how come somebody can't just hit him? And it's because he's really shifty. And his name is Brad Marchand.
Subban rocked him out of his skates super early in his career, and it hasn't really happened since. And this is a good one from Benny.
What's dangerous about this hit is that if Marchand pulls this toe drag off, he's around Benny, and Holmberg sort of has him covered, but he might have a straight shot at the net, right? Because he's shifting quickly. If he's able to pull it off and Benny misses this hit, it could be bad. But Benny absolutely rocks Marchand.
Got him in the face a little.
Good.
Look at the helmet coming right off.
Jeez.
No, did it hurt? That's too bad.
Yeah. He didn't mean to.
No.
You never want that.
They're friends. They're friends.
Yes.
Text them after the game.
Yeah. Just like Ekblad hitting Domi into Bennett, into Bob.
Yeah, there was a viral video actually going around last night. Somebody wore a Bruins Marchand jersey into the arena last night, and every time they got up for beer or popcorn or go to the bathroom, the entire arena noticed and would boo them.
This was in Florida or Toronto?
No, it was in Toronto.
You stink. You paid $15 to watch a game that wasn't in town.
Yeah,
just to annoy everyone.
Well, what if they're a Panthers fan and they want to go watch?
It's a Bruins.
They're wearing
Marchand.
a Bruins jersey. No,
Yeah.
they just stink.
I guess. Yeah,
they just stink and boo.
Yeah.
What do you think about those guys from, or what is it, father and daughter from Montreal that sit in the seats?
Oh, we've talked about that before. You know what's funny?
They're still there. I see them in the game.
I think the camera crews have been told not to shoot them anymore.
Well-
Because they intentionally got seats where the cameras were. And so, but the thing is like, I don't know, like, do your thing, man, whatever. But
Also,
the guy totally sucks. I'll just be straight up. I'll be salty about that.
As a viewer, it should
Sure,
be
he's
a
a nice
lot
guy,
more
but you suck.
difficult for me to identify individual fans who are strangers.
yeah. Like, it's weird that we all know his face.
Yes.
Well, they've done articles on him in like the Toronto Star. He owns like 6 or 7 sets of season tickets.
Yeah.
And his whole business is selling
He's a
scalping
scalper, isn't
tickets. Yeah.
You know what's funny? So I'm very anti that guy. Get him off my screen. But then the other day, someone tweeted out pictures of him with his daughter, and I was just like, she looks really happy.
I think they both look happy.
I know.
Listen, I don't.
Oh,
They
his
get
happiness
sucked.
bothers me, but hers, I'm like, he's just trying to be a good dad.
Straight up. They're probably good people. You suck.
You know what? for the month of May.
No.
And potentially June.
For every month that you're
every
in there.
time I see you on my TV screen.
Yeah,
How
every
about
time
that?
no. Every game that you're there,
You suck.
every game that you're there, you suck. But I bet you're great people.
They
But like
own,
the next day when you're at like Rabba,
Yeah.
you're fine.
They own 31 jerseys. Well, 62 jerseys of the other teams because they have
The Kraken jersey.
they have every team just to wear.
And they've got one that doesn't even exist there.
Yeah,
Look.
the Coyotes one. There's a screenshot.
Look how happy she is.
For anybody
bro.
listening, we
He's
have
just
a
trying to make her
collage
happy.
of them on the screen.
No, he's doing what he's going to do, and he's raised her to
Yeah.
be this troll.
Yeah,
he's created a second-generation monster.
A monster. Well, she looks like a very happy monster.
Yeah, and listen, if the Leafs wanted this to stop, they can take your license back, but they don't. They're fine with it.
No.
Yes, they can.
No. I mean, they're not gonna.
yeah,
not
it'd be a bad it'd be a salty reason, I guess. Like,
Well, sure.
What are you gonna do? Because of me.
yeah.
Hey, man, Buffalo Sabres have tried to do it to stop Leaf fans from buying tickets. Senators have tried to do it.
And they still take their money every year.
Yeah, exactly.
So whatever.
Anyway.
I'll believe Buffalo when that building's half empty.
Yeah, exactly. So
Is this dude going to be in the Stanley Cup final wearing like a Stars or Oilers jersey or something? Jets?
Jesse,
Yes.
that is looking ahead. And let me just say, I hope so.
Yeah.
I'll take that trade.
Yeah.
They get to the Cup final, but I have to look at his
You have
dumb
to look at
face.
this guy?
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it.
the other play I want to look at before we get to the second goal is Sam Bennett has almost done the impossible, which is take out both starting goalies in this series.
Man, but he didn't mean to. He's best friends with both
They're
of them.
friends. They're friends.
Yeah.
I actually believe him when he says he's friends with Bobrovsky.
When is everyone gonna well, not everyone. Everyone is hip to this. When is the league gonna get hip to head trauma follows this guy around like a fart?
Right. And I don't think that he's not trying to take Domi's head off.
Oh, he's trying to,
He just happens to hit Bobrovsky's head.
You know how very Aaron Ekblad's fault this was? Domi rocked Bob so friggin' hard his mask came off and no one beat him up for it.
But he didn't.
No, I know.
Bennett was the one.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. But usually in Panthers games, especially in the playoffs, that they look like the human centipede. Look at this thing. Oh, my God. It's a conga line of head trauma. And it just so happened to go against Bob.
I'm very surprised they didn't pull him from the game. It feels like this is prime location for the concussion spotter to do their job. And when somebody gets hit in the head that aggressively, I guess they're looking for other things to pull him. But with what happened with Stollers, I would think they'd be more cautious.
Stollers was so obvious and egregious. Like, he threw up, right? Like, there was an instance, I want to say it was the 2019 series against the Bruins.
Mm-hmm.
Rask almost certainly had at least a minor concussion.
Okay.
And he did not get pulled from the game. And there were Leaf fans who were like, he should probably be pulled from the game. And there were Bruins fans who were like, screw you. And they both had a point.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely sustained head trauma. And also, let's be honest, Leaf fans wanted him out of the game.
Like the Stollers thing, they didn't pull him from the game. The concussion
Not
spotter-
immediately.
No, but even that,
the spotters,
that
no.
wasn't the spotters. Either after he threw up. Like they did nothing in that game. That was after he threw up, Stollers pulled himself, and that was it. So in that game, they didn't do their job right.
I don't know what the solution is there because refs are terrified to have their impact on a game.
That's why it's taken out of their hands.
Right. No. But I'm saying refs are terrified to have their impact on a game. Imagine being the guy who makes that call. Oh, yeah, your starting goalie has to leave.
That's your job.
I know it's your
why
job.
they employ you to protect these people's head and head trauma. You can't be scared of doing your own job. A firefighter
The NHL
can't be
is terrified
scared to
of its
go
own
fight
job.
fires.
Man, it sure looks hot in there. I don't know.
I don't want to go put out this fire, man.
I touched the doorknob and I'm definitely above lukewarm, and I just feel like maybe we shouldn't. You know what? The cats and the dog, they'll figure it out.
You have a tough,
I have sweat on my brow right now.
Like you have a very tough job affecting the outcomes of these games potentially if you're wrong or right, and that's why they employ you. If you can't do it correctly, then you shouldn't have that job. But also, I'm making a lot of assumptions that there was something here that would have warranted to him to be pulled because I am not a concussion spotter.
Hey, you know what would be cool? Knowing what constitutes a pull.
That would be cool.
The NHL, I don't believe, has published that.
No.
I wonder why.
I wonder so vague.
Yeah. No, it's not vague. It's not vague if you have no details.
Right.
It's just non-existent.
It's so
I'm sure it exists
confusing.
in the ether.
How much, what % of this show every spring is dedicated to, so what's the rule here?
Yeah.
It's a waste of time.
How does hockey work? Let's talk about that. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
So with that in mind, Sam Bennett did not kill Bobrovsky, but Bobby McMahon burned somebody with his sluggishness. He was so slow.
An uncharacteristic burst of speed.
Yeah. And you probably, well, actually, I thought he was so slow that the Florida Panther defenseman he was like, I can't believe this guy's in the NHL.
If he wasn't left-handed, I would have thought he's Ryan Reeves. It's the only way I'm able to tell them apart is the handedness.
Jesse, do we have the goal up?
Yeah.
All right. So let's have a look at this. Bobby McMahon, what number is he, Steve?
74!
That's right. And here's the thing.
Not
I'm
to
gonna
be confused
stop
with
it right here.
75.
Stop it right here for a second. Max Domi makes a really great play here, and I want to shout him out because he's taken a fair amount of shit, and deservedly so.
He had
and
a great
I thought
game.
he had a great game.
Really good on the defensive side of the puck.
Hey, it's there. That's what drives us nuts.
It's in his bag.
It's there. You could see it. Anyway, so he gets the puck up, and those are some pretty big numbers for the Florida Panthers out there. Number 9, Sam Bennett.
Verhaeghe, Bennett, Kachuk.
That's a big line.
Forsling, Schmidt. I don't know how those two ended up together.
Probably because they wanted Mikkola Schmitz.
Where did the shift begin?
Well, we'll start there.
Was this a D-zone draw for the Leafs? That's the only reason I can think that those two.
My
might have been
memory's
up
not
together.
that good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so you got Kulikov there. So sorry, can you play it?
Schmidt
So there was a
tries to get the puck
change.
across. It was a close opportunity. Domi off the boards. Pass Bennett. Big man. Pacioretty goal.
Oh my God, McMahon burns. Like the goal visualizer isn't going to show it properly.
No.
The crossover, the panic crossover of
It's
Forsling.
funny how they don't have legs on the little dog.
No, they should add them.
Imagine
They should have the number spin because that would show he's skating backwards like a defenseman who has no idea how fast Bobby McMahon is.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time he makes the decision to Fred Flintstone it, boop.
Have you seen the goal visualizer of Mitch Marner's turnover from Game 5?
No, but I assume it's really frustrating.
I'm going to bring it up after.
Do we have to?
Because you can see him do the spinorama.
Oh,
Like you can tell
lovely.
the number does a little spinorama.
Lovely.
Great.
So happy for that. No, but Forsling is completely caught off guard. But this, remember I said the Panthers have been forcing these plays all game?
Mm-hmm.
This is not a high percentage play. Bobby McMahon feathers a beautiful backhand sauce pass into the slot for Pacioretty. It's just out of the reach of Nate Schmidt. And Patches, I know he's old. I know he's probably lost his step. I know he's missed a lot of games. The hands are always the last thing to go. Oh, that move from Patches. That's a nice goal from noted Alan Walsh-Clyde.
You guys want to see a number 16 visualizer do a spinorama?
I don't think I do, but okay.
I hate that we're unearthing this,
Why
but
are
go
we doing
for it.
this?
All right, so Mitch Marner is along the boards here. I'm just going to play it in full. The spinorama's coming up.
Do it. Wee!
The puck goes around the little circle, and you see the little spinorama happen. It's very funny. What?
Wee! I would love the option to have the number spin based on where the player is facing.
I think that's a fun idea.
Yeah.
Can I just throw this out there? I just sent you a picture, Jesse. Max Pacioretty has given rise to two of the greatest Leaf pictures ever. Him, the one from Game 1 or Game 2, screaming into the camera lens.
He's a yeah baby guy.
He is a
That's
yeah
how you
baby.
know he's old.
Because, now they say, let's go.
Or let's effing go.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Unk. That's an Unk celebration.
That's true. When did this switch? Look at this.
He's in the middle of saying yeah, baby.
Yeah. Look at that.
If you look at it, it looks like he's about to get punched by a fist off screen.
Mm-hmm.
But he is just, first of all, the Leafs need to continue this run just to see how thick that beard gets.
It's a good beard, eh?
Lots of hair per
Tavares
square
got a
inch.
good beard, too.
Oh, I'm jealous of the both of them. And both of them are Unk. They're certified. They have 8 kids combined.
I know. It's wild.
I saw them. They took up the entire lower bowl
with that
in the
much-
game that I was at.
With that much testosterone, you can see how.
My goodness gracious. Oh, Max. never in a million years before these playoffs began could have imagined the impact he would have on this team. Never. He didn't play.
You didn't listen to Allen.
Allen is going to be like, listen, this guy, he's got 200 career games played, 6 assists, no goals. He's going to have a hat trick tonight.
And Allen's usually right.
And it's shocking how often he's right.
Allen said, coming throughout this entire season, not even just like
He did
while
say this.
Pacioretty was playing, he talked about this in training camp when they did the deal where he was a PTO, but it wasn't really a PTO.
Right.
And Allen was very adamant to get that out there that it wasn't a PTO. The deal was waiting for him. Allen said, Max Pacioretty provides something that this team doesn't have. And it's this next level element of hitting and grit and the skill that used to be there, but he still has the intelligence in the hands that he can provide it. He can play anywhere in the lineup, and he knows how to play playoff style goals. And when he got in the lineup after game 3 against Ottawa,
Where the Leafs had not lost yet.
and everyone's
Weird
like, why are you
decision.
making these changes? And then he came out there and he was an important piece in this lineup. Allen said, yeah, duh. This is what I've been saying. This guy knows how to play playoff style hockey. And he's nailed it.
But guys, wait, where did he go? Where did he go to score this goal?
Oh man, there's a real estate location.
The net!
Yeah.
And it went in.
Hey, I also want to say this. Max Pacioretty has 8 points in 10 playoff games, guys.
LMAO.
3 goals, 5 assists. Max Pacioretty. And
He
beyond
didn't
that,
play for 4 months.
didn't play for 4
He
months.
didn't play hockey for 4 months.
And Jess, here's the other crazy part is that he's playing.
He didn't score for a third of a year.
Berube told reporters before the game, I gotta watch his minutes. I can't have him playing too much because when they do get him out there, they want him bursting.
yeah.
Right?
And
he missed a lot of time.
Every time he's started in the game on the second line, he has not finished the game on the second line. He has not played a full game on the top 2 lines.
Well, because usually they do such a good job that they have the lead and they want someone else in there, like Holmberg probably or Lawton, to shut her down.
Yeah, starts are very important to Craig Berube, so he's starting with his best line. It's not like he's waiting for Pacioretty midway through the game to throw him up there to get a burst of energy. He wants that burst at the front, and then afterwards he'll pull him down so he can manage the minutes. So the next game he can go again.
Averaging 13 minutes a night currently in the playoffs. And I want to say this. Max Pacioretty last year with the Caps only had an assist in their 4 games, but the Caps didn't stand a chance in that series. They were just happy to be there. The last time he was in the playoffs was 2021.
Vegas?
5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points. So he is, but he was playing 18 minutes a night back then.
How many games?
13.
Wow.
So he's scoring
11 of
like he
13.
did 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's 2 Achilles surgeries later.
That's the key part. That's the key part. 2 career-ending surgeries ago.
On the same ankle.
And what his Hurricane stats are hilarious because he went there and he played, I think it was 5 games. He got 3 goals.
Yes, but he didn't play in the playoffs, right? Yeah, he did have 3 goals. You're right.
He is second in the entire NHL in hits to Zach Hyman.
Playoffs.
Playoff hits.
Yeah.
Playoff hits, yeah.
And he
Playoff,
showed us-
well, he couldn't in the regular season. He didn't play half of it.
the funny thing is, and we do have unique insight when it comes to Max because of Allen. And he said it on the podcast earlier this year, Jesse. I'm not sure if you remember this, but he's like, so Max showed up to camp and they didn't tell him what to do.
He knew.
They basically signed him and they're like, we're not sure how this is going to work, but we're going to figure this out. And Max just showed up and said, this team doesn't have a big, monstrous power forward who's, grizzled. And he's like, I'm just going to do that.
Yeah. Nyes turned into that, but
Nyes-
he's not grizzled.
But Nyes is still a baby.
Yeah.
Like
He's
our
a
little baby
baby.
Matthew Nyes. He's going to grow into Max Pacioretty one day, but he doesn't have the veteran savvy that Pacioretty has.
And it was Pacioretty that was like, he didn't talk to Berube about it. They didn't talk to him about it. It was just, I'm going to throw bodies now.
Yeah.
And Allen has told stories about how when he was with Vegas, he would throw the body and it would surprise teams because he didn't need to do that as much in Montreal and in Vegas because he was one of the skilled guys. He even mentioned that in the post game yesterday. He's like, I've been on that side of it when he was talking about Marner and Matthews. Is like maybe not to their level, but where you're expected to score. And I think he's always been an underrated physical presence. And now, because that's more his role than this, well, we thought more his role than the scoring part.
He's averaging 6 hits a night. It's 59 hits in 10 games.
What
It's
is that?
5.9 hits a night.
What did Paul Maurice say? Pound that D.
Pound that D.
But he said it with a lot more oomph than I did. Pound that D.
their effing D so that when game 7 comes, they got nothing left. And the Leafs have the second most punishing player in the NHL.
It's great.
Right now. Bobby McMahon, by the way, is 13th with 44. Actually, he's tied for 11th.
If Bobby McMahon and Matthew Nyes can spend a little time with Barb Underhill this summer and figure out not speed, but quickness, when they're at their top speed, they're not catchable. Getting there sometimes takes an extra stride or two. If they're able to clean that up, both of those guys are going to be like impossible to stop. And I think Nyes, especially because he's much younger than McMahon is.
McMahon is sneakily close to 30.
Yeah, he's like Matthews and Marner age. But
Yeah.
if they're able to figure that out, even a little bit of an edge there, I think it's going to be crazy. Now, let's talk about Matthew Nyes. He awkward hit. You see him mouthing on the bench that, I can't move it. We think he means his shoulder. And Berube, do you
have
think
no idea. So you're saying shoulder. I saw online rib. I saw online hip. And I looked at it and I thought hand.
Okay.
So I have zero clue.
So Berube obviously wouldn't commit after the game to whether or not he'll play. And of course he won't. Like
I'm
thinking
fairly
he's playing.
confident he's playing. Even if he's not on the top line. Like maybe McMahon goes up and like him and McMahon
Platoon.
change places and maybe McMahon and Pacioretty platoon a little. Nyes will be in the game 7 lineup unless he is profoundly broken.
I thought it was very important to note that he played at 5-on-5. He would go out there, but he couldn't play on the power play because he couldn't stand in front of the net because of whatever injury he had. He couldn't take the cross checks to the back that requires standing in front
He
of the
did
net.
play one power play after going off, and it says something that he didn't play the next.
And then he couldn't go back out because his role on the power play is standing in front of the net, and that requires you to play physical with your body, and you're going to have to eat a couple cross checks in there. And whatever injury he got, that didn't allow him to take those cross checks.
It's fortunate he's young. Hopefully he bounces back quick. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would be stunned if he didn't play in game 7.
Yeah, I mean,
Stunned.
but just even if it's the limited role,
Yep.
I think Matthew Nyes in there is better than Matthew Nyes at 70% is better than David Kampf at 100.
He was on the ice for the game-winning goal.
Yep.
He was
And in position.
and like whatever he was doing, the pop wasn't quite there.
No.
But he was productive.
So Paul Maurice said after the game that he said, they got killed after game 5 and I didn't think they deserved it, being the Leafs. And he said
Paul Maurice loves this.
oh, he loves this.
Oh,
And-
loves the noise.
And then said, I didn't think their intensity level was all that different tonight. And a bunch of Leaf fans, and I encourage you, I'm going to play this clip for you. I'm going to send it to you, Jesse, here. I encourage you
I have
when...
it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right.
Yeah, here we go.
But that's not, they worked hard, they played hard tonight, but I thought that the last game, but they got killed for that last game. They didn't deserve to, in my opinion. I mean, we had 4 knucklers go in that probably don't. It was a pretty tight game. Didn't feel like that on the scoreboard, but when you look at watch the game and you look at the analytics, that game, the 6-1 game, was the second tightest game of the series. So this one will look a lot like that. There's not as much offense. We had 2 pretty good offensive teams. There really isn't a whole lot to be had out there. So they played hard. We played hard. It was tight. We had probably 4 go in last game that I'm not sure you're counting on that happen on a regular basis or even every 10 or 20 games, right? We had a couple going off sticks. So when you get into a 0-0 game, it's just going to be tight.
So I want you to understand, Leaf fans took this as a compliment from Paul.
He's coming for John Cooper's title as Mike Magician in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think he might already have
I need
it.
you to understand that he is essentially saying there that the Leafs' effort in Game 5 and Game 6 was the same, and that the only thing that was different was the outcome.
He's muddying the water.
And he's trying to, essentially, people think he's complimenting the Leafs. He's not complimenting.
Nope.
He's basically saying, we were bad. They weren't good. We were bad.
He's
That's what
upselling
he's saying.
Game 5 to downplay Game 6.
Yeah, dude. You lost. He lost, and the Leafs had the edge, and it was a close game. Game 5 was not close. It wasn't close.
No.
It wasn't close. It wasn't close. And stop taking that as a compliment. He is saying, in effect, they weren't good. We were bad tonight. Or we didn't have it. They did.
He's also putting attention back on Game 5.
Right.
To get the narrative back to talking about when they stunk.
Stop listening to this guy. Stop complimenting this man. Tell him to go F himself. Go Leafs go.
Yeah.
Like, enough. Enough, dude.
I love him, and we can love him in the offseason. For now, screw Paul Maurice. Never heard of that guy. Boo and
Actually,
fart.
you know what? I don't love him. I was pissed, genuinely, when he said Stolarz was one of our guys. He's like, he's one of our guys. No, he's not, dude.
No,
he's not.
Was
one of your guys. Is no longer.
And now he's fair game.
Yeah.
That's how your boy treated him. Oh, I've seen every Sam Bennett hit. Yeah, he always brains people.
There's a reason why people keep track of them, Paul.
Yeah. Now,
They're not keeping track of certain players' hits. Pontus Holmberg, I don't think anybody's got a back catalog of Pontus Holmberg hits.
yeah, they
Sam
pay
Bennett,
attention
though.
to hockey in Ontario, and I think we should stop apologizing for it, actually. But listen, you talk about Game 5, you talk about Game 6, you're trying to say there wasn't much between them. One was a 2-0 loss, another was a 6-1 win. Game 5 doesn't matter. Game 6 doesn't matter. I think the main purpose of all that, flush them both.
And I agree with you on that, and I agree with him on that.
Flush games 1 through 6. All that matters is tomorrow night. That's it. That's it. That's all. There's one game left in this series. No matter what. No matter how long it takes, there will be a winner. There will be a loser. One of you, you're not playing anymore. One of you is going to be in the Final Four.
This is a very evenly matched series, gentlemen. And I think looking at the way, I'm just going to compare Edmonton and Vegas for a second because I've watched a lot of that. And Vegas, even though they were clearly the inferior team, which is crazy to think, right?
Yes, it is.
It's nuts. That series, on paper, should have gone way longer.
They haven't had locker cleanup yet, have they?
No, they have. And like Jack Heichel's talked about his extension and all that stuff. Like we can talk about that. That's later in the show.
I think they have some crazy injuries probably.
But I haven't seen that. But my point is that the way Vegas went down was they went down fighting. It was 0-0 to overtime. And then it's truly, truly jump ball, right? And ultimately, we saw how it ended and Edmonton won. And, we kind of know how that goes. These teams are far more evenly matched than Edmonton and Vegas were this year. Far more. And maybe there's injuries to do with that, but Edmonton just overwhelmed Vegas. I don't see how tomorrow night isn't the closest game of the series, because I thought last night was very close. Panthers easily could have won. Easily could have won. A couple bounces go their way. As you guys say, it's luck, right? It's chaos.
Yeah, I think that's a little presumptive to think that you understand what type of performance you're going to get out of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I'm blind. I'm completely blind here.
It's you don't know. Like it on paper, everything that how it has played out makes sense that it's going to be close in Game 7. It's Game 7. Game 7s are usually close. But based on the Leafs and how their top players come out in the most crucial moments and not Game 6s, elimination games and Game 7s, we don't know.
We don't.
They could get blown out. They could blow the other team out. Who knows?
So yesterday,
God, I would love for them to blow the Panthers out.
that'd be lovely.
That'd be cool.
That'd be so cool.
I'll take a win of any shape or size.
Please.
Any get out shot 40-8
Yep.
and win.
Yep.
Yesterday, during the day, I never like doing this because I don't like jinxing it. And I feel like I am, but really it's just responsible production. I had to talk to Giroux about, listen, if they get eliminated tonight, there's something I need you to make for me.
Yeah, you don't have that type of power in the universe, and doing
It
your
doesn't
job,
matter.
doing
Doesn't
your
matter.
job well and planning is much more important than mythical jinxing.
Yeah, well, you guys got on me about shaping up the beard, and now look at me. I look like I'm going through a crisis.
You do
right now.
yeah.
Thanks.
You're gonna go buy a convertible and be like,
I come
have a
home
Ferrari
every day and
then.
go, "Hey kids," and my daughter's like, "Ah!"
We're
She
gonna
hates
tell
my
our
beard.
we're gonna tell our sales staff to not make any sales for future episodes because we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Let's not. We don't want to jinx it.
We just don't want to jinx. We don't know.
What about you're running a business and you have a channel and you got to do the smart things?
So we made the little video that hopefully never sees the light of day.
Yeah.
Even if the Leafs lose tomorrow, I don't know.
Now, that video could see the light of day if they win. I think it's even better.
Yeah, it becomes this interesting little artifact.
No.
Now
You don't
wait.
think so?
There's always the next round.
So wait, though.
He makes a good point.
I felt really good about the Leafs winning Game 5, and I was obviously very wrong. And I felt horrible all day yesterday. Felt horrible about the game.
Did you really?
It's difficult to picture how they win. It's difficult to visualize it when you just stink so bad. They stunk so bad in back-to-back games too. They stunk so bad. They got outscored. What was it? 8-1? Oh yeah. And they have the Matthews goal ended an hour and a half long drought? Hour and a half. Like, no, I'm not feeling very good about it. And then someone sent a list. There's all these different scenarios. If this team beats that team, if this team beats it, most of it had to do with Winnipeg, Dallas. But it was about when Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final would be under all these different scenarios. And that hit me like no cup of coffee ever has.
You want it, don't you?
Oh, fuck yeah, I want it. Oh my God. That was adrenaline straight to the bloodstream. I was like, oh, right. They're here still. They're alive.
This is the furthest you've ever gone with LFR?
12 games is officially the longest run.
Furthest we've ever been as a podcast?
Yeah, and now we're going to get Game 13. Yep, we're going to get Game 13. And teams are dropping like flies around them. Washington, they're gone. Vegas, they're gone. There's 6 teams left. Not Vegas. Dallas, Winnipeg is tonight, isn't it?
It is. And I'm doing that stream, by the way. I should shamelessly plug that.
By the end of the night, there could be 5 teams left. That realization, like, it's funny. You just get so up your ass. It's like I forgot. They still actually have a chance at this. It's very simple. We talked about this. All they have to do is beat the Panthers in back-to-back games. Twice in 2 weeks. They can figure it out. They can muster it.
Why not?
Let's see.
But it matters what team shows up. And Jesse, you nailed it.
And I have no idea what's coming.
Yeah,
I have 0. They could lose 7-0. They could win 1-0. They could win 8-2. I do not even. I don't know who's going to have a good game. I don't know who's going to have a bad game. We don't even know who's going to be in the lineup. We have no idea for the Leafs or the Panthers. I don't know what to expect, and I guess that's why we watch the games.
Exactly. Monday's going to be fun.
Father's Day is just around the corner, and if you're considering giving him the same old tie or socks, I've never gotten a tie or socks for Father's Day.
It's coming.
Is it coming? It's time to rethink your gift game if you're considering that. This year, go above and beyond with the Handyman Rocket Man by Manscaped. The Rocket, you know?
What's that for?
It's the ultimate grooming tool he didn't know he needed, but will absolutely love. Whether he's keeping his beard sharp or rocking the clean-shaven look, the Handyman Rocket Man, not to be used on your Rocket Man.
No.
To be used
for something else.
For trimming that playoff beard to make
John?
Not quite Elton John. No. But
That'd be great if he was like, I'm Elton John, here for Manscaped. That'd be crazy.
They should work on that.
Yes.
They should work on that.
They should.
They trimmed my beard last night pre-flight.
And also, they have nose and ear hair trimmers, which a lot of your dads could use. I'm a dad, and I use it.
I don't know what it is about your late 30s, but you're like, hey, you know where you don't have hair? You should have hair there.
Nature just goes, wow! You know where you never really had hair before? Here's so much of it. All at once.
All right. The Handyman Rocket Man is a compact powerhouse designed for precision, ensuring his face stays smooth and fresh, just like that well-timed dad joke of his, of which there are many. Now, join the 12 million men who've trusted Manscaped to give their dad a smooth, fresh face this Father's Day. Use the code DANGLE for 15% off your entire order at manscaped.com. Again, it's DANGLE, 15% off entire order, manscaped.com. Worth mentioning also, I think, is a big shout out to our fans, our listeners, everybody here. Thank you all.
No, I'm kidding.
Because whether you're a fan of the Leafs or not, we hit 150,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel yesterday,
Round of
which
applause
is
for us!
a big jump.
Yeah!
And it's been, I don't know, Jesse, you started the YouTube channel in 2016?
Yes.
I think so.
And we have,
2016 is
it's
correct.
been a slow, gradual thing. And during the stream last night, we hit 150,000. We knew we would during that stream, which is kind of poetic, really. And I just want to say how much we appreciate you watching at home, you here, you guys, the fact that you're sitting here for 2 hours listening to three idiots who literally started this in my mom's basement.
Two and Jesse.
Yeah, two and Jesse. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Hey,
And, you know, like,
I'm an idiot too.
yeah, you want.
No,
you don't
You
get to be
gotta
an
earn
idiot.
it.
Can you
No,
do
you
it?
got to act like an
Can you
idiot.
do a shout out to Chloe?
Yes, Chloe. Can we do? So this is your coffee shop. It's based in Hamilton.
No.
Oh, it's not yours.
It's not. The coffee shop is on the back.
Oh, it's on the shop.
You don't
This is
own the
from-
coffee shop.
I thought you did.
Right? No,
You just
no.
like them.
I was like, oh, you just like it. Okay. So this is Greenbelt Coffee at Parkdale Avenue in Hamilton.
Yeah.
And Chloe dropped these off for us.
It looks like really good coffee.
I can't.
Shout out to the owner, Chloe.
We've got. Wow, Chloe.
No. Let's run with that.
Congrats
Chloe,
on your
you
purchase,
own the
Chloe.
coffee shop.
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
that's really cool.
Well, if Chloe doesn't own it, she is now their official representative, and they don't even know.
10,000 subscribers up in the last 28 days.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
And so I just want to say
150 is awesome.
a big shout out to everybody that supported this, because we are at the end of the day a small business, and it is really exciting to be able to be here, to be able to sit at this desk, and this doesn't happen. The sport check thing. By the way, I saw somebody say you better sport check yourself before you wreck yourself in the chat
yeah.
last night.
People are them's fighting words.
Yeah, I just thought like I just thought it was worth mentioning. Hey, lot of lines crossed and elevated in the last little bit here, so thank you. It's been a really slow build, and that's the best kind, because it means people stick around. And so I really, really appreciate you and love you. Now, let's talk about what else.
You're so dreamy.
Let's talk about what else. Okay. Do you want to do Winnipeg, Dallas now, or do you want me to save it for? Do you want to do Edmonton, Vegas? Want to do what do we want to do?
You're asking me to remember what's happened the last few days.
So-
Have we done a show since Edmonton advanced?
No,
What's next in your outline, Adam?
Yeah.
it's Winnipeg and Dallas.
Okay, let's go with that.
They're playing tonight. Jamie Benn, $5,000 fine for a glove-on punch to the face of Mark Scheifele.
Fines mean nothing.
Well, yeah, it's $5,000. Jamie Benn makes like $8 million a year.
Right. No, 9.5.
Oh, 9. Oh, so he dropped 10 cents on the ground.
He's made, I think the number is $104.1 million.
So what's $5,000 to him, do you think?
Nothing. So he was fined in back-to-back games in the playoffs in 2022, which remains underratedly one of the most hilarious Department of Player Safety decisions in recent memory. Fines are supposed to be a deterrent, and you find a guy in back-to-back games. Obviously not. Then he tries to guillotine Mark Stone. He got suspended for that.
And Mark Stone's quote on it was good. It didn't feel good.
No. And it's a 2-game suspension. Really, it was 3. Because I want to say it was his first or second shift, and he gets kicked out. It's really a 3-game suspension, which is unbelievable in the playoffs. And now he gets fined again. Now, was it the worst thing in the world?
I think glove-on punches are actually kind of bad. And Mark Scheifele was not, he mentioned this too, he wasn't able to get his arms up to protect himself.
That's
he didn't
why
know it was
I
coming.
had a huge problem with the hit, because Mark Scheifele was wrapped around by the linesman. Like
Yeah,
the
they
linesman was trying to control Scheifele,
And recovering from a concussion, was he not?
and the dude popped him in the face when he couldn't defend himself. It was bad.
If you're in a scrum as a ref and a linesman, just I'm going to tell you guys how to do your job for a second here. And the names are Scheifele and Benn. You don't need to restrain Scheifele first. Get your hands on Benn first. There is that like, come on, man. The guy's 15 years into his career? I think we know, man.
I
Yeah.
think if the Department of Player Safety did their job better, they would take into consideration who Jamie Benn is, and I think he should have got a game.
They like that though. They respect that.
I'm sorry. Like, I hate to keep bringing this player up. Kadri?
I know.
Is Kadri getting that treatment?
No. And
Come
Kadri
on.
knows that.
Kadri got fined for doing this.
Yeah.
Or fined or suspended for doing the throat slit gesture at Mark Giordano back in the day. And Jamie Benn can just go around. Like, dude, think about this. You've made $104 million in your career. You know that video of Benn losing in the 2020 bubble with Dallas, and he's the only guy left in the locker room. He's their captain. He's there in all his equipment still. He's the last one in there. He's so sad. All he wants to do is win a Stanley Cup. And someone goes, Jamie, it costs $5,000 and you just free punch. The cost of admission is $5,000. You get to punch Mark Scheifele as hard as you possibly can. Let's be honest. There's a ton of fans in the NHL who would take that.
I think there's a ton of Leaf fans who would take that.
Oh, yeah.
But it's either too expensive or it hasn't been offered to them.
Right.
But George Peros goes, hey, baby, I'm going to help your dreams come true. You want to punch Mark Scheifele in the fotch? $5,000 right here.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That goes towards whoever the hell. And you take that
NHLPA.
trade every time.
Yes.
I think Jamie Benn has spent $5,000 on worse.
Dude.
Oh, yes.
Like the
He's
amount
had
of things
bigger
he
meals.
probably just blew $5,000 on.
He's had better trips to Vegas.
Probably.
Staring into the camera and without mentioning any names, if a player on your favorite team could punch any player of your choosing, and it's guaranteed only a $5,000 fine, don't stop saying Sam Bennett out loud. I didn't say Sam Bennett. You take that trade 1,000,000 times.
Yep.
But most players don't have that immunity.
Yes. Well, I also
Jamie
want to
Benn
say,
is one of them.
What people were like, well, he had his glove on. It's not that bad. I'm like, buddy, do you know why?
All right, come over here.
Well, do you know why they take the gloves off in a fight? Mm-hmm. Because you can punch harder with gloves on.
Bring a pair of gloves. You know what? Just bring one. Give it to me and we'll find out.
Maddie, if you want to throw this on the screen, here's the punch. So the linesman's holding Mark Scheifele away.
The linesman's dereliction of duty is, and the ref's doing dick all here, number 21 in the stripes. Okay, you got Jamie Benn, and the one Winnipeg person is
They're
holding him
afraid
back.
of Jamie Benn.
Hold him back.
Okay,
You
so-
hold him back. It's
so
Jamie Benn. I don't want to
holding-
get punched.
He's holding Mark Scheifele, and then we see
With his Fred Durst goatee.
Watch the rage on his face when he realizes he can hit Mark Scheifele.
And here
He
it comes.
gets so fired up. Look at this! And he just pops him.
He's like Joe Pesci in Home Alone
with
2.
all his power, and he knocks Scheifele's
It's
head
Joe
back.
Pesci in certain movies. Yeah.
He knocks Scheifele's head back like pretty aggressively. It's not a light
Dude,
punch.
Scheifele falls to the ground without putting his hands in.
Oh,
Like, look at that.
look at his neck, and that's
and the
$5,000.
The linesman's like, and that's when I knew I made a mistake.
That's
I bet Jamie
$5,000.
Benn cried himself to sleep.
Man, I bet he texted him afterwards. He's like, Scheif and I are buddies. Sorry, man. Sorry for that intentional punch to the face. It was more of a rub, really.
I would have made a bonfire with $5,000 in bills and sent that video to the group chat just for the lulz.
You don't have
Make
$5,000
it a
to
clean,
burn,
make
though.
it a clean 10K. Yeah, no, but he does.
Yeah.
He does.
When your career earnings eclipse 100 million, will you do that?
Yeah,
Okay. I'd like that.
just for fun.
We call it the Jamie Benn bonfire.
I would do so many annoying things if I was that rich. Like that coffee I brought you today.
Yeah.
I'd just smack it right out of your hand as soon as I gave it to you. Just because it's a funny thing to do. And I'd be like, Adam, it's okay. I'm rich. Here's another one. And I'd smack that one too.
So
What are you going to do? I'm rich.
the other thing about this game beyond this, unless you guys have more to add.
He should have got a suspension.
Yeah, I agree.
Should have been one game.
It's a pay to play punch institution.
Connor Hellebuck looked great on the road. He had not won on the road in 9 previous road games in the playoffs. That's dating back 3 years, guys.
Which makes game 6 very interesting.
Now, Jesse has, because Jesse's always been a big Connor Hellebuck guy. Like from
Loves him.
Start of the season, he was like, this guy, you guys don't respect him enough.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesse, what have you been saying about the Jets defense? Because I've been saying Dallas knows, pound the glove side. But he looked great on the glove in game 5.
Well, the one thing I'm going to say, first of all, is that the game was at home.
Oh, was it home? Well, that's a problem.
Game 5 was in Winnipeg.
Well, then it's still true. Still been 9 games.
He hasn't looked great on the road at all. The road game that you're streaming on the SCPN channel at 8 p.m. tonight is in Dallas.
Will he be 0-10?
6 is in Dallas.
Now you have a reason to tune in.
Yes.
Continue, Jesse. Sorry.
And so does Adam.
What was the other part of it?
My point is, Granlund scored all 3 goals on the glove side. And that's where it looked rough, right? And that all series long, they've been leaning glove side. Marty Biron, it's so obvious, even Marty Biron's like, by the way, when Marty Biron talks on TV, he's always yelling. He's like, they know he's on the glove side.
And he's yelling in his second language?
Yeah.
That takes a certain confidence, right?
It's like those annoying aliens from South Park. Whenever he did it, you remember those, hey!
Oh, yes. God, what are they called?
You know what I'm talking about. But Marty Biron he's very smart. I love watching his segments, but he's a loud guy. I can relate. And so he was saying, he's like, they go to the glove, they go to the glove, they go to the glove. They tried that in this game. They couldn't do it. But Jesse, you've been saying something all series that I don't think enough people have pointed out.
This series, from the goaltending side of things, is where a lot of people are pointing the easy narrative to, and they're saying Connor Hellebuck sucks on the road, and that's why they're losing this game because Ottinger's been better. But the series has really been won and lost for the Jets on the power play. Connor Hellebuck has a better save percentage than Jake Ottinger at 5-on-5. I referenced this last episode, and that still holds true because he had a shutout in the last game in Winnipeg. And last game, the Winnipeg Jets scored 2 goals on the power play, something that they couldn't do all series long. They had only 1 power play goal I think they had like 27 shots on the power play through the course of the first 4 games. And then coming into game 5, they obviously get 2 goals there. And that's where things kind of opened up for them. And they haven't been doing a good job getting rid of the bodies in front. Adams, you've had some good numbers on the shots from distance, the 30 plus shots.
This is crazy.
That Dallas has been able to score on the Jets, and that's not on your goaltender.
They're not big enough. They're not big enough in front.
This isn't Jason Robertson and Mikko Rantanen looking at Connor Hellebuck directly in the eye, 30 feet out, and firing the puck at him.
And going, I'm going to snipe on this.
I'm going to snipe this from 30 plus 60 feet out, and it's going in. No, there's 5 guys in between the shooter and the goaltender, and Dallas is really good at doing the thing that Steve wants the Leafs to do on a consistent basis, and that's go into the net, getting bodies in front, throwing shots on goal, and capitalize on their opportunities, especially on the power play. Going into game number 5, Hellebuck had only stopped 4 of 8 shots on the power play.
Man,
Dallas is exceptional with the man advantage. They've been able to just get all of their points there. They went 0 for 4 last game. Winnipeg went 2 for 4. A lot of the game is won and lost on special teams. That seems to be the defining moment in this series. And last game, Winnipeg was able to clean it up. And I do think Pete DeBoer has been outcoached by Scott Arniel the entire series, but last game he caught up with him.
If you're Pete DeBoer, do you lose game 6 on purpose to guarantee the win in 7?
So that you can go pad your game your game 7 stats?
Why not?
So
why
not?
They had said too going into that game that Pete DeBoer's experience, and Scott Arniel has significant coaching experience, but as a head coach, it's a little different, I would think. He was basically, what I was told is he was stuffing Scott Arniel into a locker. And Scott Arniel there was a little bit of a bounce back game from him there too, right? Like this was a Winnipeg Jets team that executed on their game, right? They got their game in front of the Stars, which honestly, nobody thought that they could do. Like a lot of people thought this series was done. And a lot of people still think the series is done. We'll see what happens tonight.
No, it's
on the road.
3-1, like you don't understand the hockey. Yes. You don't understand the hockey we grew up with. There were certain scores in a game and there were certain outcomes in a series that were a death sentence. If you went down 3-1 in a series,
over.
There's no point watching game 5.
Well, yeah. If you went down 1-0 to the New Jersey Devils in the first period,
forget it.
It was 1-0 at the end of the game.
Forget it. Like a 2-goal lead with 5 minutes to go in the third.
Forget it.
Turn the game off, go to bed, get an early night. And we don't live in that world anymore.
Thank God.
You know what? Yes.
I love that.
Now, it sucks when it happens to your team, but...
And hey, who's it happened to a lot? Anyway.
But the Jets win that one game. They immediately go from on death's door to, they could easily win it. They're still down 2 games.
They can win 3 games in a row.
Well,
They're the Jets.
technically down 1.
They're the
but they have
President's
to win-
Trophy winning Jets.
Yep.
Of course they can win 3 games in a row.
They have Connor Hellebuck. You got a few elite scorers. Yep, they could win.
Now-
And like it wouldn't even be shocking. Not in the least.
Not at all.
Jake Ottinger.
Excuse me. You mean Ottenfraud?
Whoa, Frodinger.
Frodinger. Oh, that's better.
I don't know. I kind of like Ottenfraud.
Our intern Luke points out that Jake Ottinger has not lost back-to-back games these playoffs.
Uh-oh.
Adam, going into tonight, what are you expecting?
I'm expecting Mikko Rantanen. By the way, if you watched Game 5, Mikko Rantanen didn't have like the goals that he normally has, but he missed about 40 chances. So I'm going to be just whenever 96 is on the ice, I'm going to be watching solely just him. Tonight, I think the Jets are going to be rabid dogs. I think they're pissed about the Scheifele thing. They won the game and they're still pissed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's a dangerous thing to be in.
Can relate.
And so as far as score, I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those.
Are we going 7?
I think we're going 7. And here's the thing. If they come back home and they play in Winnipeg in Game 7 with that crowd, it's a smaller arena. It's a loud group. Those guys are not going to be able to hear their goalie yelling at them to do something.
Can I do a tired narrative?
Sure.
Oh, let me do the tired sports talk narrative.
Give it to me.
The winner of this game wins the series.
Whoa!
So if
Man,
Dallas,
that's so deep. That's
if
so
Dallas
crazy.
wins,
Let's go to the call.
So if Dallas wins the series, they win the series. And if Winnipeg wins this game, I think they win Game 7 as well.
Wow. Do you agree with that, Jess? Do you agree with tired sports narrative?
I don't know. This is a tough one to predict because it's like, okay, is Winnipeg going to be able to play their game? And like they can beat Dallas with speed, and that's something they haven't been taking advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Like they haven't been playing their game, and you saw it last game where they were able to do it. I think personally, Dallas gets one of these 2.
Okay.
Whether it's Game 7, whether it's Game 6, I think Dallas does it. Is my prediction.
I looked it up. Rantanen is 7th in shots in the playoffs with 36. I'm shocked by the list of names above him. Number 6 is Nathan McKinnon, who hasn't played in 2 weeks.
Man, that's so nuts. He was crazy.
Number 5 is John Tavares,
Hey.
Sam Reinhart, Kyle Connor, Connor McDavid, and surely everyone knew this name was going to be number 1 because of all the positive headlines surrounding this player.
Mitch Marner?
Austin Matthews.
Oh.
They said it on the broadcast last night. Yeah, leads the
has-
playoffs in shots.
45. He's shooting. Someone get Hockey Illuminati on this. 6.7%.
Oh, get out! Yo, Hockey Illuminati's going to be smudging his entire bedroom now.
Whoa!
Hey, also worth mentioning, the Dallas Stars, according to Elliot Friedman, are experiencing, quote, overwhelming demand for Mikko Rantanen jerseys.
Nice.
They've sold 450 Rantanen jerseys in the past 4 days, and they said they would have sold more if they could get shipments faster. Now, I will tell you that on game nights at Sport Check here, their expectation is to sell between 200 and 300 Leafs jerseys every game night. So, Dallas, we're happy for you, but you're not running with the
that's
big boys
one
yet.
player.
They said,
That's one
and
player.
guess what?
No, but they
most
said
of them are nice.
They would have sold more if they
nice.
got more shipments.
That's right, because they
So-
don't crest as fast as Sport Check.
Right,
That's all
right.
I'm saying.
Oh.
Can you say that one more time? Most of the jerseys that they're selling are nice?
Are nice jerseys.
Really?
Yes. Everybody already has a Matthews and Marner,
That's true.
right? They've been here for
They
a
can
while.
get another one.
Yeah, but you get nice, man.
You know
Look
what?
at
I'm
him. Look
getting
at
a jersey lettered downstairs as we speak, and I noticed there were a bunch of knives in a stack.
That's the one they're building the most.
Yeah, my son asked for Matthews, and after Game 5, I was like, "Is there anyone else?"
No.
And no, I didn't actually ask him. He wants Matthews, he
that.
gets Matthews, but it felt way better walking in today and asking for it.
Edmonton are through and happy and waiting for their opponent. But one thing that we should mention about the Oilers is that Cal Pickard and Matthias Ekholm will not be available for the first 2 games of the Western Conference Final.
The first 2 games.
But Stuart Skinner had a shutout and looked good. And the Edmonton defense looked good.
You have to bury that team early or you're boned.
I don't even think it matters if you try to bury them early. Good
Well-
okay, what? So the Oilers can't come back?
No, like Skinner. No. You're misunderstanding me.
Oh, I am.
Here's how you beat the Oilers. Every game, start down 2-0.
Oh, okay.
So now they're cheating for defense, which is their weakness. You start 2-0 like the idiot Vegas Golden Knights. Great. You signed your own death warrant.
Yeah.
Now they're cheating for offense. They're going to get the zoomies and you're dead. Start every game down 2-0. Come back and tie it. Grind one out in overtime. And you're going to have to do that in the first 3 games. Now, you're going to have 4 shots at winning the 4th.
Right.
Ask the Panthers. You're going to need them. You're going to need all of them. And that's how you beat the Oilers. This is why I have a hard time saying anyone's going to beat them now. Like that they got through LA and I learned my lesson. Yeah, they have major flaws. They've had major flaws for years.
A decade.
And with those major flaws, they've gotten an appearance in the Final Four against Colorado. They lost in the second round, but it was to Vegas, who ended up winning the Cup. And then last year they went to the Cup final and they almost did something that hasn't happened since 1942. They're freaks.
Corey Perry turned 40 yesterday, has 5 goals.
Insane. Oh, yeah. Happy birthday to our favorite player.
Yeah. Vegas, I just want to quickly mention. I mentioned this to Jesse. I didn't realize this. Jack Eichel's, remember that extension he signed in Buffalo?
Yes.
That's a year away from expiring. And so they asked him at Locker Cleanout, hey, you're eligible on July 1st for an extension. What do you want to do? And he said, well, obviously, we'll deal with that at that time, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, it's great to play here. But what I keep bringing up on the stream with Jesse is the Vegas Golden Knights, 1 win in the second round, and William Karlsson said this after the loss, it feels like a wasted year. What division win, and you get 1 win against the Oilers in the second round. When has Vegas ever settled? They
Never.
seem like a team that's prime for, let's see what happens.
I mean, they're always active.
I think they're going to make a major move. And you know what happens is it's the older guys. It's the guys that are like, hey, I think you're past your competitive window. Would I be shocked? And by the way, they're still good players, great players even. But Vegas is like, no, we like them right in their prime, and we like them for that 5-year window, and then see you later. I wonder about a guy like Mark Stone.
I
wonder about Pietrangelo was a beast. I wonder, can you get more for him to build for that next window?
I think is
Vegas going to sign Eichel to a long-term deal?
even a dude who just got there, like Hurdle, like, are they like, maybe, this hasn't worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it hasn't worked out. Like, it's Vegas. Nothing is off the table. Nothing. They're not one of those we've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas.
I think Jack Eichel's the guy who sticks around.
I would hope so.
Jack
Yes.
Eichel, he's 28. I think a long-term extension's coming.
And he's right in that window.
Yeah,
right?
I
Now,
know.
have they ever signed anyone to like an 8-year contract? I know Carlson's was long, but
Maybe
I don't know.
Stone?
Was that an 8-year deal?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's not many, right?
Petro?
Like
Out of free
the Leafs
agency?
have signed many guys to 8-year deals. I don't think Vegas has.
Hannafin?
Yeah. Maybe
yeah, Noah
Hurdle?
Hannafin's 8 years. Yeah.
Is Hurdle 8 years?
Could have Hannafin?
No.
I'm not sure.
Hurdle's
I don't
like
think so.
5 or 4.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Noah Hannafin.
They have no cap, though.
Yeah,
As in, the cap doesn't apply to them.
exactly.
Yeah.
Carolina is through. They boringed their way to the Eastern Conference Final, and they're just sitting there being boring, waiting. And respect to them. And I just want to say, I love the tweet from the Canes yesterday. I'm not sure if you saw it, but Dulles Airport tweeted out, Dulles is one of the major airports in the Washington, D.C. area. Good morning to everybody except for the Carolina Hurricanes. And they said, we heard there's some flights booked to Cancun today.
Ooh.
And for what the Hurricanes are on the ice, which is the NHL's most boring team, their fans and their social media are the NHL's most exciting.
They look like they're having fun.
They're having the best time. And you can have a good time when you play good defense. It's crazy.
Yes.
You can enjoy it.
Are they just, like, are we being hypocritical?
What do you mean?
Craig Berube is our head coach.
Yeah, I think the Carolina Hurricanes have us beat on the low event-o-meter.
I don't know. We can't really ramp up the Carolina trash talk.
Not yet.
I want to.
Well,
but
I've just been saying it all
Game
playoff.
7, Game 7, Game 7. Yeah, you're doing it as an objective observer. I want to do it as a hostile enemy. But we're not there yet.
No, we have to earn that.
You have to earn that 100%. Great way to word it.
Now, there's a little bit of rumor out there, speculation that maybe Alexander Ovechkin isn't back next year. I'm not sure that how much there is to it. We do know that he does want to play at Dynamo Moscow at some point. But Crosby was asked about it at the World Championships.
Hilarious. And
he said, yeah, I think he'll be back. I think if you're the Capitals, and if you look at Spencer Carberry's quotes after their locker cleanout day, he said, I love every one of these guys. I thought we had a great season. And he's like, regardless of how we went out, there's so much there to love about this team. It seems like an odd time for Ovi to go. Maybe just one more year.
Well, and you think he's retiring before the Olympics?
Yeah, exactly.
No shot. And
it wouldn't be retirement. It would be I'm playing in the KHL, which he wants.
Retirement from the NHL.
Right.
I don't give a damn what he does in the KHL. You know what I mean? Like, it's retirement. I don't give a damn. Do you?
No, but the Olympics shouldn't have an effect on him playing professional hockey.
Yeah.
He's still going to. Plus, we don't even know if Russia's going to be in it.
No, we don't.
But my assumption is it'll be like, oh, this isn't Russia. They are being punished harshly. And now we have this other country that is people exclusively from Russia. What the I don't understand.
That's very true. The Olympics do tend to do that.
Yeah. No, they're just not allowed to. What are we doing?
But they're from there.
Just have them wear red pennies? Is that what we're doing?
They're all wearing like white jerseys. I'm watching Team France at the IIHF, and they're wearing white jerseys. It's literally like
I hope
they're
they
stealing
play each
their
other.
The Ovechkin thing going to the KHL, I think it's a little more serious than people are giving it credit for, because he did speak to a Russian paper about doing this earlier this year, and it seems like it's a goal of his. So you have to kind of just gauge, when is he going to have enough to play pro hockey still in Russia and be effective? He's going to leave the NHL when he still has some legs, because he wants to go play there and still be effective, And
it's a skaters league.
Yeah, and he doesn't just want to be
surface.
like when Putin was playing with everybody and they're just letting him get away with it.
Where Yager owns part of the team.
Yeah.
And in order to keep the team profitable, he has to play X amount of games a year.
He wants to actually go over there and play hockey.
Yeah.
That's literally true, right? Have you watched the highlights of Yager?
Not recently, maybe 6-7 months ago.
They're so funny.
Is he looking like Putin on the ice?
No, what's hilarious, he cannot move.
Well, no, and he never was the best skater, right?
But he might actually have the best hands in that league still. And
that never goes.
No, and he's just doing skills drills around these poor young men.
Because what is it, League 3 or
Dude,
League 2?
it's like second tier Czech league.
So it's like Wrexham, basically.
Kind of.
Yeah. Well, good for them.
Yeah, but it's like if Messi.
Yeah, but again, Yager was never the fastest skater in the NHL at his best. It was always his hands and his vision and his ability to make plays. Right?
Yeah, but now it's and you can't take the puck off them.
No.
His ass is twice the size of yours. BBL Yarmir.
He's a good follow on Instagram too. He's always having fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's fun. I don't know.
Oh, sorry. I thought you followed up my comment about him having a big ass with you follow him on Instagram.
Oh, I don't follow him for his butt. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
With Ovechkin, I can see a scenario where he puts up 35 goals next year and then still calls it quits. Where it's he still has a good season, but he decides to not play anymore.
So, and there is a record that he is about to break, which is I think 1,000 goals.
He's close to 1,000 postseason plus regular season, and then he's close to 900, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think those two, if he can check those two boxes within the next calendar year, he's probably done in the NHL.
Gretzky's going to be on the plane a lot. One more time.
You think he's going to show up for those?
No, I don't. No, he did his public appearance and he's done.
And then now he's going back to
I think Ovi's within 25 goals or 26 goals of that 1,000 mark.
Mm-hmm.
77 playoff goals, 100 or 897.
Yeah. I think those two, he's probably finishes off next year and then he's done.
That's great. Yeah. Good for him. What a career and what a pleasure to be able to watch that guy. Now, around the league, we have to take a moment here, and there will be no speculation on this particular subject. The jury yesterday in the 2018 Team Canada hockey sexual assault case was dismissed. This is the second time this has happened in a month. The last time a mistrial was declared, and they brought in a new jury. This time, evidently, jury members. What?
Your mic.
Oh, what about it? Oh,
put it in front of your face.
Oh, okay. Evidently, jury members felt targeted by lawyers for the defense. Now, it's important to note that the defense was the reason that the first jury was dismissed because one of the defense lawyers approached a juror at a sandwich shop across the street, which is a big no-no.
And we didn't know that because there was previously a publication ban.
Right, and now we do.
Yes.
And so this time, evidently, jury members felt targeted by lawyers for the defense, specifically about their appearance. They passed a note to the judge, and essentially it said, they felt as though the lawyers were looking them up and down as they entered the courtroom and then making comments back and forth to each other and laughing. And the jury said that was unprofessional. These are a couple members of the jury. So what does that mean from here? It means the judge is going to decide. They could have declared another mistrial, got a new jury, and started again.
Well, and EM, the complainant, testified for 7 days.
Yeah.
Was cross-examined and examined and all that for 7 days. To have to do that again.
Yeah. Well, neither side wants that because just from an objective lawyer perspective, I now know what my opponent's arguments are going to be. So I can sharpen mine up. So neither side wants that. They want to continue forward. So that's what they're going to do, and the judge will now determine the ultimate outcome. And obviously for the bigger details, and they are numerous and they are ugly. You could check out Katie Strang, Dan Robson from The Athletic, and obviously Rick Westhead at TSN's doing a great job covering that too. But I just think we should, update that case where possible. Obviously it's a pretty extreme thing that's happening right now, and it's going to remain a story throughout these playoffs, right?
Until you get an answer.
Moving on from that, Claude Giroux and the Senators have begun talks on an extension. 50 points this season, 5 more points in 6 games in the playoffs. He's the guy that wanted to be a Senator when nobody wanted to be a Senator.
Nobody. When he signed there, I was like, why? No, they were not good.
And he put up 80 points that year too.
And he was quite good. He's another guy who we've talked about guys who have to, sort of reinvent themselves. Mm-hmm. I don't know that he's necessarily done that, but he's aging as an athlete very gracefully.
Yes.
It's not the sharp drop off. It's not he stinks in these situations.
His game's changed a little bit from when he was at the height of his game. But that's what happens.
He's not 22-minute touch of God guy anymore. Like Claude Giroux was automatic. We still make fun of I think it was Sam Carchidi who had that tweet from 2012 about Crosby passing the torch to Giroux as the new best player. I mean, we know now that was preposterous. But at the time, that's how good Giroux was. Some people legitimately thought that.
He was
wrongly.
Great. Yeah. He used to eat the Leafs alive.
Oh my God. I mean, everyone. Mm-hmm. Okay, who was a really good player in 2012? Oh, they ate the Leafs alive. They suck.
It's not too long ago that Claude Giroux for the Ottawa Senators in the 22-23 season had 35 goals and 79 points.
He's a good player.
He's still got it in him.
Yeah.
He's got it in him, and the team is young enough that they really need a player like that.
They also don't need him to score the same way, right?
They got guys now.
They got talent. They got big talent.
Stützle and Kachuk and Batherson and friggin' bunch of them.
It's funny. Rick Tocchet was officially unveiled as the long-term coaching solution. That's what Danny Briere called him for the Philadelphia Flyers. But I don't want to talk about that just yet. I want to talk about what Rick had to say about the Canucks and Adam Foote. And there's an article in the Province, and this is going viral on Canucks Twitter because Tocchet talked about Elias Pettersson. And, Tocchet's advice to Foote is simple, is what it says. Connect with Pettersson. Help him manage his daily experience better. Now, let's talk about the quotes. Tocchet says, have an itinerary for the day. When Petey walks in the door and we have our hands on him, give him a plan. This guy's going to work with you for 15 to 20 minutes on the power play sidewall. Then this is going to happen, and so on. Footy, he's going to have a fresh start with Petey. Footy was the defense coach, and they didn't have a lot to do with each other outside of the penalty kill. And where the thing that bothers people about this quote specifically, and it might not stick out to you upon first reading, is why does the $11.5 million center need an itinerary? But he has been criticized by both Tocchet and Alvin, not just last season, but previously, for having poor preparation, not heading into games, but heading into seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, there are players who get killed for that.
Hard to change.
I'm very curious where he's spending his offseason and how he's spending it. There are teams, there's a player I heard a story about. They're a really, really good player. but this is earlier in their career. Their team begged them, don't go home. Stay here with us, work with us, don't go home. And they said, don't worry about it, I got this. And they went home. And they came back 20 pounds overweight.
Oh.
And they ended up having a okay season. It didn't start that way. They're a really good player now. They're no longer with that team. But I mean, obviously, I don't think Pettersson's going to come back 20 pounds overweight. I don't know if he's got that in him. I don't know if he's got the fat guy corner aspect of him.
No, he doesn't have the Shen brothers like we do.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not about that. It's about wind. It's about recovery from your injury. It's about building strength. It's about a number of things. He's probably got to go in the other direction. I think they would love if he came back 20 pounds heavier.
That's true. Jesse.
Sure. Yeah.
We think Pettersson had a knee injury that really hampered his play.
Okay.
Is he ever the $11.5 million player again, do you think?
Well, I don't know. Like, it depends on how healthy he is. I don't have his medical records to know, but there's been a clear drop-off for a year and a half now. It's not like we have a small sample size and it's still last year's playoffs where we're like, okay, Pettersson's going to get it going now. The fact that we have a playoff run and like the regular season leading up to that wasn't that fantastic either. And then a full season of hockey. And I know a lot of that was taken up by the noise around JT Miller and Pettersson, and Pettersson couldn't play under that environment, but it's not like it's just a couple weeks slump. So I question whether or not he can ever get it back because of how long it's been. And it's worrying if you're the Canucks, but that's got to be your entire focus as an organization. We're paying this guy all of this money. He better perform, and we need to do everything we can to get him up to speed.
And you take that, though, and you couple that with the fact that Philip Hedl, who they acquired for JT Miller, has concussion issues and immediately got one, right? And then you're going to lose Brock Besser because you won't pay what Brock Besser wants, right? And, 8 years, $8.5 million apparently is what he's looking for. Whether or not he's worth that, that's up to everybody else. But the Canucks have some serious work to do. And also, Thatcher Demko has that weird injury, and we're never sure if we're going to get the exact same Thatcher Demko again, or if we do, how many games a year can we expect him to have that? Is it 35? Is it 45? Is it 50? So I guess where I'm getting to, guys, on this is it's hard to say. Adam Foote's first season's got to be about what? Is it have to make the playoffs? Is it have to build the confidence? What goals would you be giving him in this interview right now? And also, Jim Rutherford did say, we're not exactly a free agency destination.
No one's going to want to hear this. Their first, second, and third priority has to be Elias Pettersson. Elias Pettersson might be the most important player the Canucks acquire this offseason, because they've had some imposter. I'm looking at it. He's actually, over the last 2 seasons, goals per 60, he's second on the team.
Wow.
Behind JT Miller. Assists per 60, he's second on the team. Behind JT Miller. He's still done well compared to his teammates. They need him to be better than that. You're paid as one of the best players in the league. Take it from a Leafs fan. When a guy you're paying $11 million plus isn't producing, it's hard to win games. Real hard to win games. Foote.
But he plays great defense.
Oh, shut up. Which is what I was told when I was like, Matthews is playing great defense, and everyone told me to fly a kite. Everyone told me shove those stats up your ass. No one cares, dude. And that is the life of a player who makes that much money. Dude, Barkov's a great defensive player. He's not allowed to not score. Bergeron was a great defensive player. He wasn't allowed to not score. Kessler scored for his team. Ryan O'Reilly scored for his team. Maybe they weren't elite offensive producers, but they were responsible defensive players who scored. Petey, for 11.5, you got to give me 40. You got to flirt with 40. You got to get 40's number at least. You got to flirt with 90, 100 points, something. You have to be elite. You make elite money. It's not good enough for you to be our best player. It's not good enough for you to be the best player on the Canucks. You have to be one of the best players in the league. That's what you're paid to do.
Adam Foote was Quinn Hughes' defense coach the last 3 years. Quinn Hughes loves this guy. if Adam Foote is good, but the Canucks are bad, and Quinn goes into his last year, are we looking at a trade last year on this contract? Are we looking at a trade next summer? If Adam Foote is good, but the Canucks are bad.
Oh my God. What are they? What is this stupid team? You still have some control. Is when Quinn Hughes, his contract expires, will he be a UFA or an RFA?
I can find that out.
No, he'll be a UFA. He's still like, it's the 2027 offseason.
So, okay, you have time.
Yeah.
If you have time,
That's what I
use
mean,
it.
though. At with a year left, that's when he's going to have his most value, though, right?
All players are attracted to winning. Yes. All players are attracted to winning. You win, I think you have a good job of keeping him. The great thing about Quinn Hughes is he is about as subtle as an anvil. And I think the Canucks will have a pretty good idea of what he's thinking very quickly. There won't be this little flirty, will they, won't they, John Tavares stuff. You will have a very clear decision ahead of you a year out from that contract expiring, and you will have no shortage of teams around the NHL who want this player, including the Devils.
Who will ultimately be the team he goes to.
I mean,
He'll be the team he goes to. That'll be the team.
you would assume so.
Yeah.
All three Hugheses on the same team. He goes from one team with three guys with the same last name to another
And becomes.
the third last name.
Yeah.
And he takes the captaincy. Oh, Heischer's the captain. That way the brothers don't fight each other.
Good.
That's smart.
Good point.
That's
Okay.
smart.
All right. Rick Tocchet, as I said, was unveiled as the Flyers head coach. Jess, we talked a little bit about this in the pre-stream. He said that there are some players on the team with some high ceilings. And then he also said, and I thought this was important, players today want trust, communication, and safety. It's not a dictatorship. We're in this together. What do you think about that change of outlook for the Philadelphia Flyers? Because it really has, for 40 years, been run like a dictatorship.
Yeah, no, like the improvement of Tocchet from John Tortorella, you can't even quantify it. The way that guy ran things, like we've heard enough stories where he just outwears his welcome so quickly. He's around. It's like, okay, you get the John Tortorella boost, and then eventually everything he does wears thin. And Tocchet seems like he's a great head coach with the right mentality for a Flyers team that might suck for a little bit more, but has a great future.
No, I love Tocchett's quote in his press conference where he goes, I don't really want to coach.
Which is something John Tortorella said at the end of last season.
I don't really feel like it. I know you're paying me and stuff, but I can take this or leave this. Like bless John Tortorella. He's had a great career. It might be time.
At the end of the day, like anything's better than that nonsense, but like anything is also it's great to have Rick Tocchet. You know, that's better than anything. You know, he's actually, I think, a decent head coach who showed a lot of good stuff in Vancouver, and it's a shame that they couldn't give him the right players around him, and they made it such a mess in the locker room that he couldn't like stay there because they didn't want to get rid of Rick Tocchet.
This is like the first, right?
They tried. They offered him a contract, and he turned it down so he can go to a better opportunity. It's not like he wasn't wanted, and now he gets to go show what he can do in Philly.
It's
and
rare.
They don't have Tortorella, which is awesome.
So I've seen the number quoted at either 5 years, $25 million, or 5 years, $27.5 million.
Wow.
For Tocchet. So it's either $5 million or $5.25 million a year. Coaches would be getting paid.
Yep. And it's not against the cap. Flyers have the money. Don't care.
Yeah.
Money cannon.
He also
fired
took
at his face.
He took a swipe at the organization when he was talking about arriving in Philly, and he saw that they had 3 ice pads for their practice facility. And that's something that Vancouver doesn't have. They don't have like their own dedicated practice facility like at all.
That's so crazy because their owner is literally in real estate.
Yeah,
like he could build one.
So he was just like happy. He's like, oh, I have somewhere dedicated to me to practice with a couple different ice sheets. I think for a coach to just bring that up on his own, I think means something.
You sometimes forget about the financial gap. Well, not even financial, because it's the Canucks. They have lots of money. You forget about the gap in resources some teams have. I was talking to, it was Tobias Lindbergh years ago when the Leafs were
There's a name.
totally irrelevant, but we were talking about the Marlies because the Leafs got a bunch of prospects, and Lindbergh was one of them. He was coming from the Ottawa organization, I think, and he was just like, yeah, the Leafs video team goes on the road. It was and the goalie coach.
Yeah.
Wow. Like he was just blown away by that.
Here's Tocchet on taking a swipe at Vancouver and the practice facilities.
I walked around that practice facility. I walked around here, like in the inside, the bowels, right? But there's so many tools to work with. I mean, the practice room had 3 sheets of ice. Like, as a coach, you're like, oh my God, these are the things you want as a coach. So those are attractive things to help me be even a better coach. So that's why I think I can't speak for the past. All I know what I see now and the relationship of the people that I'm dealing with now. And it excites me.
That's him going, oh, I realized what I just said.
Should have said that one.
I don't want to be too honest here, lest Francesco Aquilini lose his mind again.
Well, and don't forget the Canucks. That dude used to coach in Arizona.
Wow.
Rick Tocchet. He's paid his dues.
Yeah.
And in Pittsburgh. He was an assistant coach in Pittsburgh.
Well, they
I
even
don't know
mentioned
what
that.
their
They're like, even when everybody thought the Coyotes would finish last, Tocchet had them competitive. That was something Briere said. I thought that was good.
So this is more insight on the practice facility thing being like a big deal for Tocchet. He's the head coach, right? His work isn't done game to game at Rogers Arena. It's done at the practice facility, which Vancouver doesn't have. So Elliot Friedman, when he was talking about the negotiations that were ongoing when they were trying to keep Tocchet there in Vancouver, he mentioned this specifically. He said, if you listen to Jim Rutherford's media conference when he spoke with Patrick Alvin a week ago, he had some interesting comments about their practice facility. Now, the Canucks are the one team that doesn't have one, and I understand that one of the reasons Rutherford talked at length about that is because Tocchet brought that up as a thing. And then this was in the DH Sports Daily Hive article. They write, the Canucks search for a practice facility has been ongoing for more than a decade. There were plans for a building to develop close to Rogers Arena, and that fell through in 2021. The lack of a dedicated practice facility makes it difficult for players to work out and skate in one location, especially when Rogers Arena is hosting other events, such as concerts. This is crazy to me.
A decade means you're not committed to trying.
You're a billion-dollar NHL team.
The Canucks?
Okay. Hold on.
Like, I don't want to coach there either, and I'm not a coach.
The Vancouver Canucks?
Yeah.
In British Columbia?
Can't find a place to practice?
That is wild.
A little insight of the organization and why people might not want to stick around.
I'm so surprised by that.
I was shocked.
I was just thinking, where do the Giants play? Like, couldn't they? But I think the Giants play there, don't they?
I'm just gonna run down a couple of things. So in the Aquilini portfolio, you have Vancouver Canucks and Rogers Arena. You also have Aquilini Developments. What do you think they do?
Develop?
Aquilini Developments owns and develops real estate.
Oh, I thought it was photos.
The company is primarily focused on Vancouver and the Lower Mainland, so areas near Rogers Arena. That's so crazy.
Are you saying
also, they
he
do
might
the
know a
U.S. and
guy?
Italy too? They do residential and mixed-use developments in the Greater Vancouver area, and some golf course redevelopment and commercial land in Chilliwack, which is nearby. Also, they own a company called Aquilini Properties. What do they do you think?
Gaming. Minecraft.
They manage the properties that Aquilini Developments develops.
Dude.
All right.
That is okay. You're just not serious about it.
If I'm Elias Pettersson and you come to me as the head coach, Adam Foote, and you say, okay, last season, your preparation wasn't good enough. We need more from you. Preseason,
Yes.
summer, all year round. We need you to practice. And I say, where am I supposed to do that?
Well, you got a condo gym, don't you?
Like, what? How do you expect Pettersson to get better?
It's literally like friggin' Shoresy. It's like, we got bikes now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The Vancouver Canucks?
When they built Rogers Arena, they could have put an extra floor on it.
Like, it's in the middle of condos, right? Like if you've ever been there, it's like
I haven't.
Everything runs. It's on like a corner square block. I guess you can build up.
Yeah, like
Technically,
MSG, right?
MSG, you can build up or down. They could do that. Yeah, you're right about that.
When they built it,
If you
they
get
could have
creative.
done it.
Right.
They found it. It's there.
The Raptors-
we've been looking for 10 years. No, it's right there.
There's no
Raptors practice
space.
facilities right in Scotiabank.
Yeah, there's no space around it, but yeah.
And
The
Raptors also- no, they have
they're
one
at
in-
OVO.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
OVO
Oh,
Performance.
right.
Yeah.
Near medieval times.
Don't they? They still have that court though.
I don't know if that exists anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
Yeah, because they practice at OVO.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, they could probably, you're right, Adam. They could have built up or down if they really wanted to, but
Sure, that's like being like, hey, we've been together 10 years and I've wanted to get married the entire time and you've never proposed, because they're not going to.
The fact they've
You're
been
not
talking
committed.
about this for
Yeah.
10 years, it's almost like the Ottawa situation, except they had every resource available to them to fix the problem and they simply haven't.
Right. The Ottawa situation was that you had an owner who was just not with it. And I think that's what I would say, not with it. If you think
Wait, what do they got in Vancouver?
they have an owner who
Same
has
thing.
successful businesses that he is currently running. Whether or not you would call it with it, those businesses exist and they're profitable. And that is a literally inexcusable thing.
I would love to know the list of NHL teams that don't have a dedicated practice facility.
Didn't that article say they were the only one?
Are they the only one?
I thought that article said they were the only one. I could be wrong. Like the Sharks. The Sharks have 7 pads of ice. 7.
Is it 7?
It texts at you, yeah.
Wow. That's such a good practice
It's amazing.
facility, by the way. Holy crap.
Free parking, too.
I'd put it up against the Leafs. Like, it's
Oh, yeah.
got more
So-
pads of ice.
Yeah, in Friedman's comments that I read, he said, now the Canucks are the one team that doesn't have one. Does he mean like just like point blank, they're 30, they're the one of 32?
That's how it's worded in English.
Dude, that
All
means
right.
even Utah's got one. And they just got
Damn.
They just friggin' got here. Arizona had one, and they didn't have an arena.
Bro, they were born.
That's
on it, but
crazy.
Still, I'm so surprised by that.
And you wonder why don't free agents want to sign here? It must be the taxes. That's what it is. Oh, it's the tax. It couldn't be.
I'm sure it's a little bit the taxes.
Whenever I look at Vancouver, I'm like, this is one of the most beautiful places on earth to live.
Yeah.
If you're rich, the percentage difference in your lifestyle is, And remember, you're getting paid in American dollars in Canada.
Yeah. Did you see that one kid at the NBA draft combine? He got asked about Toronto. He's like, I don't really know anything. I just heard the taxes are high. I was like, that's the only thing you know about Toronto?
Yeah.
Fire your agents.
Yeah. Well,
Fire your agents. That's all you know. And also, you said that into a mic.
yep.
That has to be intentional. You just don't want to go.
Get used to it. Draft him now.
Man.
Nobody wanted to come
Draft
here.
him out of spite. Screw him. Why not? I don't even remember the kid's
Anyway,
name.
long story short, I can understand why perhaps they have some work to do. I think after 10 years, I believe the term is do one thing or get off the pot.
Yes.
Do the thing.
Can I put a cherry on top of this thing?
Oh, I can't. Is this?
And then we can end the show.
Does this add more detail, Jesse? Because I'm ready.
The PWHL is expanding.
Which is great.
Where are they expanding to, Steve?
Isn't it Seattle?
And
And another place.
place
Is it
next to
Vancouver?
Oh, yeah, Vancouver.
Yeah.
Funny thing about that team that currently doesn't exist yet.
Yes.
They have a practice facility.
Get out of friggin' town. No way.
This is an article from April 23rd. Vancouver's PWHL team already has a practice facility before the Canucks.
Dude, they're not a team.
They don't exist.
Wow.
But they found somewhere to practice.
take a bow, Francisco. Wow. Do you think the Canucks could borrow?
Oh, my goodness.
Hat in hand.
Yeah.
Hey.
We've come across some hard times, and
Hey,
Oh
new
my
in
God.
town, aren't you? Listen. So
The argument that it's hard to find a place to practice in Vancouver, the team that doesn't exist did it.
you just don't want to do it. Just say you don't want to do
There
it.
has to be some sort of story. Did it burn down? Like what? There's no way. There's no way they simply just don't have
The
well.
only reasonable explanation is that it burnt down.
Burned
And then-
down.
and then they were
You're
like-
an NHL team.
But
why
Steve,
else would you not have one other than it burned
If
down?
it burnt down, guess what? Aquilini Developments could have gone back
you
and
can
redeveloped
rebuild the
it.
burnt down building.
No.
Dude,
That's crazy.
I have
It's crazy.
so much reverence for. I love that city. I love that place. I think it's a good team.
And when that team is good, it's fun.
it's so fun. Their fans are so. They don't have a What?
No wonder their fans are ready to rage quit at all times. That's like I get that. That's like Leafs under Harold Ballard, where he's like, we're gonna have a tiger at center ice because I own the Hamilton football team.
Jesse's so funny. Yeah, Elias, we want you to get better. All right, where do I go?
Where shall I practice?
Here, we got you a Good Life subscription. It's $3 for the first 90 days.
Do they have ice?
What do you need that for?
Do they have ice at the Good Life?
Yeah, they got it's when it's in winter. There's ice. I don't know.
They got a rowing machine, and if you go early enough in the afternoon, most of them aren't in use.
Oh no!
Holy shit! That's wild. I can't wrap my head around that.
Like that's egregious. I think it's got to be cheapness. It's got to be the guy at the top being cheap.
Jesse, what would make you
I don't know if
say
you guys
that?
want to say point blank, but it's probably that.
Hey man,
Why?
you know what's crazy about the Leafs, by the way, and the Blue Jays is they have never got the internet inside the building.
Oh yeah,
It's so crazy, and I just wish that their owner had the ability to get the internet connected inside of those buildings. Isn't
Yes.
that? Don't you wish?
I wish.
If only they had the opportunity to do that. I'm sure they're being held back by some force.
Trudeau.
Must be Trudeau. It's the taxes.
You know what? The guy with the bumper sticker was right.
Damn.
I'm gonna
Get your
hit the
Canadian
button.
flag out.
Yeah.
Let's go. Anyway.
Dude.
Hey, thank you all for being here today. We love you. Woo! So great to have a live audience. Come on down to Sport Check. We're going to be doing a live show here tomorrow, and I'm going to be streaming tonight. And there's a whole bunch of stuff happening.
Bless the Canucks. I forgot Game 7 was even happening.
Yeah. Yeah. It's happening.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.